Nature is running amok. Rabbits are terrorizing Florida. Otters are stealing surfboards. There's an island full of dolls just waiting for you to visit it. And hey, I have a chair for sale. You would love it, and trust me, it's definitely not haunted.
Get comfortable. Turn off the lights. It's Monthly Spooky.
Well, my friends. Michelle, do you want to say it? It's that time of the
Hi.
month.
Wait, what?
It's that time of the month.
Oh, no, I don't want to say that.
Ah! You just want me to be the one that said it.
I mean,
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Yeah.
Just throw old Henny boy under the bus. I get it.
Yeah,
No.
okay.
This is Monthly Spooky. I don't know why I feel the need to say that after you just heard the announcer and music package tell you that, but that is what we have here today. It's Monthly Spooky, and we are getting close to the spooky season.
Yeah.
You seem surprised. Are you aware that it's August and about to be September?
I mean, not really.
Fair. Well, it is. So we're about to head in September, which is my birthday month.
Yeah.
So hooray. I'm going to be officially, I can't argue anymore, closer to 40 than I am to 30 substantially. So that's exciting. And, and no, but it's a big thing. Not being 37, but I mean, it's a big thing, the spooky season. So
Yeah.
do you have any big plans for the upcoming Halloween time?
No.
No, not at all.
What kind of plans would I have?
I don't know. Maybe there's a decoration you're excited to put up, or a DIY thing you're excited to do because you're a very crafty human being.
No.
No,
I mean, I just like fall, but that's about it.
you just fall over.
Yeah, I like fall down.
Just down some stairs. Well, I am excited about Halloween. I don't have big plans for decorating the house beyond my usual lights and stuff,
Mhm.
because I am very stressed out. Unfortunately, my dog Chicano is not in remission from his cancer, so we have to go after some more treatment options. So I'm saving money back. I'm unfortunately no 17-foot tall skeleton this year.
I'm sorry.
like
I can make you
$300.
one. if
Really?
you want. Yeah, out of real bones.
Where do you get the real bones?
I don't know.
You know, don't you? You do know.
I don't know if I know.
Oh no, that's even worse. This is like so many layers of deniability. This is worrying me very much. But to get the thing over with, if you want to help with Chicano's cancer bills, I do appreciate it. Go to WeeklySpooky.com and click on Help My Dogs. I really do appreciate all the help we've gotten. Unfortunately, after all the chemotherapy, it looks like we still need like another $3,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 worth of veterinary treatment. I'm going to do it, but I'll just go into debt. So,
Yeah.
why are you making a face?
Oh, nothing. Not
What is it?
related. No.
Unrelated? Okay,
not
fine.
unrelated.
We'll see. What does that even mean? I'm in a goofy-ish okay mood. I don't know. This is the perfect way to wrap up August, which has become brutally hot out here in Ohio.
Really?
Dude, well, and I have like David O'Hanlon, one of our writers. He's out in, I want to say Missouri.
Mhm.
And, or maybe I think it is Missouri. He was telling me that it's like 110 degrees there.
Wow.
Yeah. That like
What's
people's
it-
air conditioning is just a shrugging emoji when you turn it on.
Yeah, that's why you don't put it on at all. So you
But you like
die.
melting. I've learned that many women of your stature, being like kind of a short person,
Mhm.
that you guys like to rehearse for living in the blazes of hell one day.
I mean, I don't think the blazes of hell are going to be like 85 degrees, but sure.
No, that's why it's
They
practice. It's gradual immersion therapy.
Huh. I mean, maybe, because I do get more tolerant of heat all the time. So,
See, there you go.
yeah.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
also-
Oh, yeah, please.
Oh, no, I was just going to say it is not hot here. The high here is 80. The high tomorrow is 73.
You suck.
Yeah. it's
Today
not
the high
gonna
here is
be-
like 87.
That's not hot.
I mean, that's warm. No, it was much worse at the start of the week. It was like 97 degrees outside.
That's really hot. Yeah.
That's no. Now it's warm, but we're so frustrated from it being hot that we're still going to complain about 83 or 85 or 86. You know what I mean? It's because we're so sick of it now.
But it's better now. So you should be able to go outside and go like,
That
it's
is
all
not
cool.
the American way. Okay.
Oh,
We want
okay.
better now.
Yeah, I know.
Consarn it. So before we talk about things that aren't sad, depressing, or hot, how do you feel about the crypt? Because I'm honestly feeling very like insecure. I really wanted you to like the work I've been doing with the recording crypt. And so what do you think?
I think it looks really good. I know you've been putting a lot of effort into it. So,
Yeah, my new thing is I found out that if you nail things to the wall, you get to hit the nail with a hammer. And I really need that level of relief.
Yeah.
So that's why there. Oh, that's awkward. It's an odd number. That's why there are 27 framed original posters from the presidential campaign of Ike Eisenhower.
Yeah. I mean, one of them was scary enough.
You don't like Ike?
I think he's fine. I just don't even know where you found them.
Oh. Same place you found all those human bones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't know.
So I do not know.
Oh, okay.
This is a good game we've got going here. Take that. See, when we talk on the phone, the CIA is listening. Now we have all the spookies listening and the CIA.
Yeah.
So that's ideal, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Was anything else going on in your part of the world other than you not feeling particularly hot?
I mean, no. I mean, I have all of a sudden a bunch of home inspections, so that's good.
That's great. No, that's really good.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go away soon enough. But,
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
I would assume that home buying would be at its height in the not super cold or hot seasons, like spring and fall. That would be my assumption.
I believe it's actually at its height in the spring and summer.
Well, that makes sense too.
But yeah, I don't think this really has anything to do with that. I don't really know why I have inspections when I have inspections. And also none of these are for people who are buying houses. So
what are they for?
People who've already bought houses. I think one of them is for someone who's going to start renting a house, is like a landlord going to start renting out a house.
Sure.
So like that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. So there's an entrepreneurial scent in the air.
For that guy.
For that one guy.
That one guy. Okay. Yeah.
Well, fine. Well, Chell, I'm very excited because before we get to the spooky news, this month, there's kind of a trend in some of the spooky news.
Yeah.
That I'm really excited to show you because I've been waiting all week not telling you because I didn't want to spoil it. So, and after we get done with talking about the spooky news, we have a very special topic for this month's show. One that I'm really looking forward to talking about. It's not quite the deep dive we normally do. We're going to dive into, be shocked, mirror.co.uk's most terrifying places on Earth.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the most terrifying places on Earth. If we need to, we can do a deep dive into each one individually. And I want you to rank on a scale of 1 to 10 how terrifying you find that place.
You'll be surprised about how terrifying I don't find places.
I won't, but the audience will be.
Oh.
So, but we're going to go to a quick commercial break from our friendly sponsors. And when we get back, we're going to dive headfirst into the spooky news. And I do mean dive headfirst because the first story involves the ocean. Right after this. We are back with the spooky news.
The spooky news.
So, Chell, these first three stories all have something in common. And not just that they're spooky, but they're about animals.
Oh, I thought they were going to be about the ocean.
No, we had that, though. Remember that period where it seemed like every month they were talking about the ocean and sharks?
Yeah.
No, these are not quite that, but they are about animals and strange things going on with them.
Okay.
So this one is from your favorite news source, NPR.
Yay.
Also known as No Pulse Required.
That's
or
so
narcoleptic
lame.
public radio. Hey, thank you for tuning in to Monthly Spooky. Do you ever, when you're recording yourself, Chell, do you ever just start doing NPR voice because you listen to it so much?
No, I don't. Also, I don't think about that at all.
Do you have an NPR voice? Could you try one right now for us?
I don't know.
All you have to do is get really close to your microphone and then talk like you don't want to wake anyone up.
Oh, I don't know how to do it.
I mean, I guess another option is just sound really scared. That works too. Good job. Well, this one from NPR.org says an otter turned outlaw continues to evade wildlife officials in Santa Cruz.
Oh, I think I heard about this.
You listen to NPR.
Oh, right.
An otter in California is on the run from local and federal authorities, wanted for aggressively confronting locals and stealing surfboards at a popular beach.
Cool.
Okay, first of all, if it says the otter was described as wearing sunglasses and a backwards ball cap, I am going to scream like a little girl seeing Elvis Presley for the first time.
Aw.
That is, I might anyway. I'm already in love with this story.
Good.
Stealing surfboards.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, Chell, how do you feel about otters?
I think they're pretty good. You know?
Yeah?
They're okay.
Regular otters, or are you more of a sea otter person?
What's are you calling like maybe river otters a regular otter? Or what
I guess. Yeah,
about?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about otters.
I always think of sea otters, but I don't know.
Because they hold hands while they float in the ocean.
So or they like eat things on their belly or whatever.
Yeah, they rub shells on their tummy and like open it up.
Yeah.
Sea otters. Okay. But its outlaw status has turned the slippery sea otter into an international icon with growing support to leave her in the wild.
Yeah.
I love when the internet takes up a cause like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's truly how human we are. Have you ever seen the movie Smokey and the Bandit?
No.
I love Smokey and the Bandit. It's a phenomenal movie. In Smokey and the Bandit, basically the concept is, you're from the north. You're from like the East Coast elite space. Are you aware of like moonshine running and stuff? Are you familiar with what that all was about?
I think so.
It used to be that bootleggers could get away with bootlegging alcohol just by outrunning the police.
Right, and that's why we have NASCAR.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you totally get it. So that's, the concept of NASCAR came from racing like crazy. Well, similarly, there would be one of the ways bootleggers would do things is they would distract the police so that a semi-truck with cargo it wasn't allowed to transport could transport. Mm-hmm. So when you watch Smokey and the Bandit, it's about Bandit. He has a super fast Trans Am car and he's basically getting the cops to chase him all over creation so that they don't notice the big truck full of Coors beer being transported out of
Oh.
Texas. Back then, you weren't allowed to transport cores past the other side of the Mississippi. They were taking it to Georgia, smuggling it.
Weird.
It was because of food standards back then. Cores had to be transported cooled, and there were some areas where they weren't allowing beer that wasn't shelf stable. This is, the 70s. So anyway, the movie's amazing. It's super funny. There's everything to like about it. And I can't for the life of me remember what made me talk about it in the first place. I apologize. Oh, no, it's because my favorite thing about the film is, like, when Bandit goes through town, he radios, on the CB and tells people, Bandit coming through, blah, blah, blah. And the whole towns, all the little towns off of the little highways love him and hate the cops. So he'd be like, hey, breaker, we're coming through the so-and-so, and we got Smokey on our tail. Any way you could distract him? And all these, like, people at, like, a drive-in diner restaurant all, like, get in their cars and, like, block the road and act like they don't know what's going on, so the cops can't get over. And that's what made me think of this with the otter. I just love that in that movie, it's like you have the people and you have the Mounties, and that's it. There's the people, and then there's the Mounties. The Mounties are not liked by the people. I just love that element. Anyway, that was a long tangent because I just wanted to talk about Smokey and the Bandit. Highly recommend you watch it.
Okay.
The 5-year-old female otter, known officially as Otter 841, it's catchy. Is that a Polish name or?
Yes.
Has been deemed a public safety risk by state and federal wildlife officials because of her, quote, unusually aggressive behavior along the Santa Cruz coast. As a result, wildlife officials and Monterey Bay aquarium staff are attempting to capture and rehome the otter to an aquarium or zoo, according to a joint news release. Oh, yeah, they want to imprison her.
I was going to say they want to, like, put her in jail?
Can you? And it's our fault as a society. This otter clearly drank a Surge Cola and now plays by its own rules.
Yeah.
As humans who invented Surge Cola, we have to take responsibility.
We do.
For that. But support for a live and let live approach is growing with each unsuccessful attempt. This is the best. No, the more I'm reading this, the more I'm imagining that this is like Smokey and the Bandit, but an otter. Oh my God, the memes are amazing about this otter. Okay, Mark Woodward is a local Santa Cruz photographer who has chronicled 841's adventures for over a month on Instagram. Last week, he snapped a photo of an activist dressed as an otter holding a surfboard that read, "Keep 841 free." Another local, Ann Stadler, voiced her support for Otter 841 in a letter to the editor in the Santa Cruz Sentinel published on Thursday. Quote, I don't have all the facts and history of the incidents, but it just seems to me to be yet another example of humans feeling that they have the right of way on the earth and that other contemporary species and their rights to their native habitats are expendable.
Yeah.
Mic drop. I mean, don't actually drop our mics. They're very expensive, but mic drop. There are several petitions circulating online in support of 841's freedom, one of which has gathered over 50,000 signatures.
Wow.
Yeah.
But really, like, who's going to care? But wow.
I mean, I care.
I mean, I kind of care, but I don't know that the government and the people who want to lock her up care.
Whoa. Don't get political saying things like lock her up.
Oh.
What? No, I'm looking at a meme right now that is an otter with a Batman mask over its face.
Wow. Okay.
And it says, she's the hero Santa Cruz deserves, but not the one it needs right now. So we'll hunt her because she can take it, because she's not our hero. She's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight. And then the quote is attributed to just the feds. The otter's antics have become a viral sensation in recent weeks, generating a multitude of memes shared across social media platforms. Santa Cruz's Most Wanted even has an Instagram fan page at the Surfing Otter.
Wow.
Yeah, I just imagine your phone coming up immediately like, I'm going to need to follow that. Home to a series of parody images, including one that compares Otter 841 to Batman in Christopher Nolan's film The Dark Knight. Quote, oh wait, no, that's just quoting what I just read.
Oh.
However, the agencies charged with catching 841 have maintained their stance that capturing and rehoming her is best for the otter and humans alike. Biologists say catching the otter could take days or weeks because of environmental conditions like water clarity.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's just like the capturers to be like, no, the best thing we can do is what we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds a little convenient. I want to see the otter start stealing like their trucks and stuff when they like when they're trying to catch her. You know, they're just like, I could have sworn we saw her here. That's what the call said. You know, the call said that the otter was right here, and then they just hear like a motor, and they turn back, and the otter is just like waving at them as it's driving away on their truck. But the otter is a total menace, so it doesn't just steal the truck; it like wrecks it a mile down the road and leaves it.
Of course it does. Otters don't know how to drive very well.
It's true, but it doesn't stop me, so it shouldn't stop them.
Yeah.
The California Department of Fish and Wildlife told NPR that capture efforts could be, quote, suspended or halted entirely if the otter continues to elude officials and stops interacting with people.
Oh, okay. So we just have to let the otter know that it needs to stop.
We just have to let the otter know to stop doing everything awesome that it's constantly doing.
Well, it's like that, or it go to prison. Like, what do you?
Yeah, that sounds like tyrant talk. I am with this otter in every way, and if this otter could use money to do more of this, I would pay. Where is this otter's Patreon? I wish to subscribe. This otter has brought me so much joy.
I'm glad that you like her so much.
I do. 841, bah! Wildlife experts remain uncertain about why the otter is behaving this way. Monterey Bay Aquarium spokesperson Kevin Connor previously told NPR that Otter 841 was born in the aquarium approximately 5 years ago. So this is the system's fault.
Yeah, they did this.
Yeah, this is not some otter that was born in nature and then decided to be a menace. No, we made this otter. This is the chickens coming home to roost, except they're otters.
Yeah.
This story just keeps, man, I want to like get a movie off the ground immediately that's just a sea otter adventure, like, but not for kids. No, it's like the sea otter is just like, all it does is like steal stuff and like give cops wedgies and smoke blunts. That's all this otter does. He's the coolest otter ever. I dream of being as cool as this real life otter.
I mean, I'm kind of with the otter, especially since they like escaped, I suppose. Yeah, they could do whatever they want.
Yeah. Also, the fact that the otter escaped an aquarium and is now a menace just tells me that this is all CYA. This is all cover your ass. Now it's like, we need to recapture. Yeah, because you released this menace into the world by being incompetent.
Yeah.
And now you want to cover your booty hole by saying like, oh, no, we can't allow this level of truth and justice in life. Get out of here with that BS. But so there's more to that though. So she was born in the aquarium approximately 5 years ago, where she was raised by her mother and minimally cared for by staff disguised in black rubber suits and welding masks to hide their human appearance.
So she was just tormented by the horrors of people in black rubber suits and welding masks.
Correct.
Of course she's not okay.
I mean, I feel less okay having only read that.
Yeah.
She was successfully man, this is so CYA.
Mm-hmm.
She was successfully released into the wild in June of 2020. So she didn't even escape.
No.
This is entirely their fault.
Yeah.
And now they're just afraid that she is going to teach the other otters her ways.
Exactly.
I'm voting for 841 in November.
Okay.
Now, there's no election in November, but I am voting.
That's fine. I mean, you can vote as often as you want.
As long as you're in Chicago. So she was released in the wild in June of 2020 and appeared to be doing well until last September when her interactions with humans were first documented in the area.
Wow.
The CDFW says the otter could be behaving this way because of positive interactions with people, such as feeding, which would explain why she's not exhibiting a healthy fear of humans.
Sure.
I mean, when I think of animals that need a healthy fear of humans, I don't think of otters. Like, the worst thing that a human is going to generally do to an otter is fail to pet it because it's so cute.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, can I pet you? Oh, it ran away. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Would you pet an otter?
Sure, if it was okay with that.
How would you be willing to find out by reaching for it to see how it reacts?
I don't really know enough about otters to decide if that's safe or not, but probably.
Okay. I mean, I feel like one of the most important elements of being human is being willing to die for petting things.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
But I don't really want that to be the thing that leads to my death, though.
It might just be maiming. I mean, more than likely it's just maiming.
Now I really don't want it.
Well, you're more anti-maim than death?
I just feel like if I'm really badly maimed, things are going to be hard, you know?
I mean, they'll be harder if you're dead, though.
No, they won't be anything if I'm dead.
You're raising fair points. Fair points. Officials want to catch the otter so she can be thoroughly examined at the Monterey Bay Aquarium before finding her a new home, all but certainly in an improved zoo or aquarium. So what you're saying is you want to capture this creature, steal its shine, imprison it, and hope we all forget. No.
Especially because they probably won't even give her surfboards.
There's no way they'll give her surfboards.
Yeah.
Or at least not reasonable board wax. Because that's the other thing is you got to maintain the board. You can't just ride it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess they could maintain it for her.
Yeah, but that's just taking away all of her independence.
Yeah, I know.
Not cool. Not cool, bro. Like her current summer escapades, Otter 841 was caught harassing surfers in Santa Cruz last September. CDFW and aquarium staff were able to drive her away from the area, but she returned to her stomping grounds and resumed her unusual behavior last month.
Good.
Otter 841, we stand by you.
Yeah.
That may be the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Cool.
Otters stealing surfboards.
It kind of reminds me of those orcas that were taking I believe, rudders off of boats in Spain.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Oh, orcas. Well, we got one more animal news story before we'll go to the break because it's a shorter one.
Okay.
This one's also from NPR. And it is rabbits have overrun a suburban Florida community. Volunteers hop to the rescue. For those out there listening to this, i.e. David Denoyer, who he and I watched Night of the Lepus, which is about giant meat-eating rabbits.
Yeah.
It's honestly a terrifying movie and really gory, but the rabbits grow giant and start eating people. A community in South Florida has an adorable problem on its hands. Dozens of domesticated bunnies have overrun parts of Wilton Manors, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale.
Huh.
I wonder how the iguanas feel about this.
Probably really good.
2 years after a resident let loose lion-head rabbits from their backyard, according to local lore, the number of rabbits now outnumber the 81 homes in the Janeda Isle neighborhood. The furry invasion has divided the neighborhood's residents. Some have allegedly threatened to shoot the animals or feed them to their snakes. I like how that's one of the options, or feed them to their snakes. Everybody has snakes.
Or it's just Florida, so they're like, oh, the snakes in the neighborhood. There are
the snakes will take care of this.
Yeah.
Makes me think of the invasive species in The Simpsons when it was like, I forget what it was, like frogs or something had like taken over, and it was like, that's why we bring in the snakes. They love the rabbit meat or whatever it was. And then it was like, but then we have a city full of snakes. He's like, that's when we bring in the gorillas who thrive on snake meat. I was like, then we have gorillas everywhere. And he's like, that's okay because the gorillas can't survive winter. And she was like, all right, I guess this works. Oh my God. Some want to let the bunnies roam free.
Mhm.
Others, concerned about the rabbit's safety, are raising money to save them. I want to point out it actually says racing money
Oh.
because NPR needs a copy editor. East Coast Rabbit Rescue, a nonprofit organization, is spearheading an effort to rescue and rehome the bunnies. The group managed to rescue 19 rabbits on Friday, 3 of which are pregnant.
Oh, no. I guess.
They reproduce like rabbits, man.
I guess so.
The volunteer-run outfit began rounding up the rabbits after partnering with city police to complete the mission. The big challenge in trapping the rabbits has been the residents, says ECRR President Monica Mitchell. Quote, our hope was to rescue up to 45. That was our goal yesterday, she said on Saturday. But unfortunately, we encountered lots of issues there because the residents were so hostile. Some residents didn't want us to take the bunnies.
I understand.
You do? Would you be on the bunny side? Like, I just want tons of bunnies all over?
Yeah. I mean, I already have, rabbits around in my neighborhood.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having these little, like, lion head rabbits that have, like, lots of hair on their heads.
They're super cute.
Yeah.
An officer from the Wilton Manors Police Department was present during the mission to provide protection, but Mitchell is asking the city to do more. Quote, the city needs to approach the residents in a different way, she said, and say, hey, you guys need to allow the rescue to come and get the rest of the bunnies. They haven't done that.
Yeah.
The city hasn't said, like, let them take the bunnies. So you're just wandering their neighborhood stealing stuff. No wonder they're hostile.
Yeah, they probably don't know what they're going to do to the bunnies. Like, they don't probably want them dead or whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't trust these people.
Yeah.
The lionhead rabbits, a fluffier species noted for their thick mane or double mane circling their head, aren't built for suburban Florida, Mitchell says. The animals, which are prone to heat stroke, she says. That is a problem. Have been digging holes in the ground to escape the oppressive heat to the irritation of some residents. Mm-hmm. Lacking a proper source of clean water or food, the rabbits have been grazing on lawns that could be treated with toxic pesticides.
But so what? They do that all over the place anyway.
That's true. I think it's because they're domestic, so they feel like they owe them something as opposed to like wild rabbits that like that's just the agreement they took.
Yeah, I guess.
The rabbits are also at the mercy of the area's predators and cars. The West Palm Beach-based group says it will need at least $40,000 to be able to capture, neuter, and spay, vaccinate, and microchip the over 100 rabbits and counting. Oh. So far, it's raised over half of that goal. The WMPD has not yet committed funds toward the effort, a spokesman told NPR. The costs are quickly adding up, Mitchell says. Care for each rabbit costs between $200 to $300, she says, not including any extra medical attention she says several bunnies need.
They need attention for their medical problems.
Michelle, I will join you driving down there if you will agree to take in. How many rabbits do you want to take in?
I was thinking no rabbits.
It's going to have to be more than that.
Like half of one?
Your cat would like that. The rabbits require care from exotic veterinarians, which are rarer and costlier than vets who treat the common pet. I'd like to imagine the veterinarians themselves are exotic. Mm-hmm. They're just like wearing like a headscarf and shaking maracas and stuff.
Okay.
Let's get you vaccinated. Ding, 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 ding. Rabbit Rescue is preparing for high vet bills, which in some cases will include surgery to treat the animals, the group's president said. Quote, sometimes the vet is willing to or capable to do the surgery. Sometimes the vet that is willing to or capable of doing is what it should say. The surgery is like 3 to 4 hours away from us, she added.
Wow.
Okay, so that makes sense, though. I mean, if you've never had an exotic pet, have you?
Yeah. I've had like guinea pig and stuff.
Okay, that's an exotic pet.
Yeah.
Then you know that it's different getting them taken care of as opposed to cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need an exotic person who is also a veterinarian. During an April 25th city council meeting, Wilton Manor's council members were concerned that drafting policies to solve the problem would set a precedent for the need to curb other invasive animals, including iguanas and ducks. Okay, ducks fly. I don't think you're stopping that.
Well, maybe they're a year-round species of ducks.
Huh. But I mean, if they got wings. I mean, what are you going to do? Get rid of them? They'll just come back.
What if you bring them like really far?
They'll come back.
Okay.
Mitchell says that according to neighbors she's spoken to, the rabbits descended from pets kept by a former resident who illegally let them loose when she moved out of state 2 years ago. Naturally, they've since reproduced, multiplying like rabbits. That's what it said. Yes.
Sorry.
No, please.
So this happened 2 years ago.
Yes.
And they're doing just fine. Their population is expanding. They're apparently not actually dying of heat stroke.
Yeah, that is true. So I think it's more that they have to destroy people's lawns to survive the heat is the problem.
I mean, but it's dig holes. I'm not really sure. I don't know.
Yeah, rabbits do dig holes. I've read that somewhere. So you think that, just let them be?
Yeah.
I mean, eventually they probably crossbreed with regular. I don't know if there are rabbits in Florida. Are there? There gotta be.
I'm not sure.
Well, Mitchell's rescue group is calling on the community to help with donations, supplies, and fosters to care for the captured rabbits. So they're doing their part to try and help the rabbits, but I say let the animals be free. But speaking of animals that need to be free, our next story, which we'll get to after the break, involves a more famous creature out of a little place called Loch Ness. Right after this. And we are back right here on Monthly Spooky with some more spooky news. But before we get to that, I am the kind of person that talks about everything because it makes me feel better. During the break, I had a really bad time.
Yeah.
Ano is still recovering from his cancer tests yesterday, and he slipped and fell and had an accident, and I had to clean him and my kitchen and his dog bed. I had to clean it all up while he looked very pathetic and very betrayed. I picked him up. I mean, he's like 65 pounds, so picking him up is not like the easiest thing. I picked him up, set him in the tub, and I'm like spraying lukewarm water on his butt and like rubbing soap. And he's just looking at me like, you're murdering me. I'm being murdered. And then I'm like, eat another bacon strip. And he's like, I will. And then he like eat. So yeah, some heavy stuff going on at the compound. But, and Chell, you're one of the best friends on earth, and you're always so kind and so understanding. And you were like, hey, we could pick up this recording later or tomorrow or whatever. And I was like, no, I'd rather sit and talk with you and talk with the Spookies. But I will say, because this is a show where we talk for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours straight. So I may as well, this is where you get to know me, is over here. Things have been really hard over here.
Yeah.
Just trying to give Chicano the best possible care, both giving and paying for it. Super difficult, super expensive, super unpleasant. So anyway, that's not me plugging weeklyspooky.com/.com and click on help my dog. But if you want to, you can. But let's talk about another type of animal, Chell.
The non-real kind?
Well, I mean, depends on how you see it. But we've got this news story from HuffPost.com. Creature seekers. Center hopes drones will aid in massive Loch Ness monster search.
Good.
So you're nodding, so I'm guessing you've heard about this or no?
No, it just makes sense. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, so when I was a kid, I loved the Loch Ness monster. Like, I thought it was a fascinating story. I read all the books in my library about it. Did you ever have like a lot of thoughts about the Loch Ness monster? Do you have any thoughts now or anything like that?
I mean, I think that there's always a chance that there's something in there that we just don't know about yet. You
Sure.
know? Because why not? It's water. Water's scary. So
It is.
you never know.
It might have an otter that's going to steal your surfboard and then also your
Exactly.
girlfriend.
Exactly. Because who wouldn't want to hang out with an otter over some
Chad.
weird guy that doesn't even surf?
Yeah, really. Bro, do you even surf? So I always loved the Loch Ness Monster, but my whole attitude as I got older, and I'm not even talking that older, I mean like 18, 19, when it was like, 2004, 2003, was like, even then with technology not even anywhere near what it is now, I was like, can't we just put a camera on every inch of Loch Ness?
Yeah.
Like, I know that would be expensive, but somebody would pay for it because they're crazy, Just my thought. The other thing about Loch Ness that's always been tricky is it's not really that big or that special of a body of water.
That's not nice.
I'm just saying it's not, there's no known reason why it would have something so different from everywhere else. Although there are many lake monsters.
Yeah.
In big lakes. And the other problem is that generally speaking, a habitat that small just can't support something that big.
What if there's lots of other big things in there that it eats?
That just actually makes the problem worse than what you were describing, because then what would they eat?
Maybe they eat maybe they're like bottom feeders.
Wow. Hateful. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I listened to too much political talk. I thought you were talking about people you just don't like.
Yeah.
Bottom feeders. No, I mean, there could be mysteries under there that I don't know. I am not a scientist, and neither are most of the people you're about to read about probably. But what I do love about Loch Ness is that it completely and utterly captures the imagination. I love that about Loch Ness. So that's what I'm excited about, is the fact that we're going to read a little bit more about Loch Ness and why I'm mad that I haven't heard the term drones and Loch Ness in the same sentence in a while.
Yeah.
So let's dive into this one. Water. The Loch Ness Center in Scotland is calling for budding monster hunters and volunteers to join in what it dubs the largest search for the Loch Ness Monster since the 1970s.
Wow.
That is the other question about cryptids in general, but especially the Loch Ness Monster, is why, is there just one? And it's some kind of supernatural legendary creature? Or is there more than one? Is there is this some kind of is there a family of this type of creature? And if so, then that raises even more problems about why wouldn't we see them more often and what do they eat?
Yeah, I mean, I would think my go-to thought thing would be that there has to be more of them, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Or it's a ghost. And if it's a ghost, everything actually makes plenty sense.
Now, this is going to sound weird coming from somebody who doesn't believe in ghosts, but Loch Ness Monster being a dinosaur ghost makes the most sense of any theory I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Just keeping it 100. I need to say that term more often. Just keeping it 100. The visitor attraction said this week that modern technology such as drones that produce thermal images of the lake will, quote, search the waters in a way that has never been done before. The new surface water search for the fabled Nessie, planned for the weekend of August 26th and 27th. Hey, this will be airing right after that happened.
Yeah.
Is billed as the largest of its kind since the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau studied the loch for signs of the mythical beast in 1972.
Oh.
That means that there have been multiple Loch Ness organizations. This was the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau, and now this is the Loch Ness Center.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, if I was in a small town in the middle of nowhere that had a body of water that became legendary, I would play it up often. I would play it up as hard as I could. Yeah. If I could go, if I was doing a United Kingdom tour of just seeing things, I would totally want to go see Loch Ness just because of all those imagination experiences when I was a kid thinking about it, it would be fun.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure it's beautiful or depressing because it's UK. The Loch Ness Center is located at Old Drumnadrochit Hotel, where in 1933 manager Aldi McKay reported spotting a water beast in the loch, the largest body of fresh water by volume in the United Kingdom and one of its deepest.
Okay, that sounds special.
No, that is special by United Kingdom standards.
Yeah.
We're spoiled here in America. Like, it'll be like, they have the biggest lake ever in their country. And it's like, okay, we have 85 of those in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We get spoiled. We do.
Yeah, we do.
The story kicked off an enduring worldwide fascination with finding the elusive monster, spawning hoaxes and hundreds of eyewitness accounts. Numerous theories or explanations have been put forward over the years, including that the creature may have been a plesiosaur, a prehistoric marine reptile, giant eels. That's the one I've heard the most, is that it's giant eel.
Okay.
Or even swimming circus elephants.
I mean, no, but okay.
So this is the famous file photo of the Loch Ness Monster. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's the one that's like a silhouette, and it really looks like, it looks like a shadow of a goose. But if I remove that, it looks like a dinosaur.
Or it could be a trunk of an elephant.
That they do breathe through it, right?
Yeah.
This undated file photo shows a shadowy shape that some say is the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland. An upcoming search for the fabled Nessie is the largest in over half a century, blah, blah, blah. So I just want to show you that photo in case you weren't like me. I have that photo like permanently tattooed in my mind.
Yeah, no, I know that one. Yeah.
Purported. But didn't somebody come out and say that they faked that?
I don't know.
I feel like that's a thing that they like came out and said like, hey, we faked that. Now I have to check. Loch Ness photo fake. Let's find out right now.
Okay.
Loch Ness Monster picture is a fake. Oh, well, no, that's a more recent fake photo.
Oh.
Okay. Then that one is just unexplained. It's also undated, which opens up questions.
Mm-hmm.
So it is tough because the way that Loch Ness Monster, the way that it works, I mean, the way the concept of a Loch Ness Monster is sorry, I lost my train of thought a little bit.
That's okay.
The concept of a giant inhabitant in any water body is always tricky because water is a very specific ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So generally, have you ever heard the term like that fish grow to the size of their habitat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like you hear that a lot about like when you hear about like a goldfish could be like yay big, like the size of a football. And it's like, well, they grow as big as their habitat allows. That's what they mean when they're saying grows as big as the habitat allows. They mean like the access to food and the access to space, the access to exercise is what allows them to grow. And that's why a lot of people think that the Loch Ness Monster is an eel, because when eels are born eunuch eels, they're born with no ability to reproduce. They tend to just eat and eat and eat and grow and grow and grow.
Wow.
Because they have no drive to reproduce. So they just eat. So some people think that, but then other people point out that like even the Great Lakes in America can't support a creature that's more than about 10 feet long.
Huh. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could see, eels kind of would make sense because don't eels, when they get older and they have like a sex, don't they swim away to the Bermuda Triangle?
Oh, is that where all eels go?
I think so.
I know that's the second half that people forget of the saying. It's all dogs go to heaven and all eels go to the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
So let's see. The Loch Ness Center said its team will deploy drones equipped with infrared cameras so they can produce thermal images of the water from the air. A hydrophone will also be used to detect acoustic signals under the water.
Okay.
I wonder if this thing is a plesiosaur, then I guess it would be cold-blooded, I would think. But I don't know. I really would need the resident dino expert, which is Rachel, but I don't think I could get her on the horn this quickly.
Yeah.
Volunteers will be asked to keep an eye out for any breaks or other movement in the water with guidance from experts on what to look out for and how to record findings. Quote, "It's our hope to inspire a new generation of Loch Ness enthusiasts," said Alan McKenna of Loch Ness Exploration, another Loch Ness organization, Loch Ness Exploration, a voluntary research team taking part in the upcoming search. I know that what they mean is a research company run by volunteers, but I like the idea that they're involuntary research teams.
Yeah.
Just pointing a pistol at you. Come here, we're going to learn about cheese. I don't want to. No. Just involuntary research group. By joining this large-scale surface watch, you'll have a real opportunity to personally contribute towards this fascinating mystery that has captivated so many people from around the world, he added.
Yay.
So that's an interesting story. So hopefully maybe there'll be an update of some sort next time. I don't want to say I doubt it, but I doubt it.
One. No.
But I would love it. Yeah.
I'm just confused. Like, why don't they have little boats go out with those things and then they can pulse
sonar?
Under the water? Yeah. Because
they've done that again and again and again and they haven't found anything.
Oh, well, because that's how I think you would find something if it was there.
Yeah, so the search they're talking about in the 1970s, that's what they did. They dragged sonar through the entire loch and didn't find anything.
I mean, I guess the Loch Ness Monster could be like right behind the boat the whole time so it doesn't get picked up.
Yeah. Stealing surfboards.
Yeah.
Lousy Loch Ness Monster. Oh, me tree fitty. I love the concept of the Loch Ness Monster. And one fun thing about cryptids is if you don't find them, that means you didn't look right. Keep looking.
Exactly.
But we can laugh about that and be like, haha, skeptic joke. They found the giant squid.
Yeah.
They found the coelacanth. Like, there are things we don't know about. It's just that when it comes to relatively landlocked water masses, it gets a little bit trickier.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's an interdimensional being, which would explain a lot.
That would work for me.
Yeah.
I'd allow it. What does that even mean? So those are pretty much those are our animal ones for this month. And I like that there were 3 in a row, just strange things. So that all being said, let's see, this one's from, can you guess where it's from?
I try to remember any other news source besides mirror.co.uk and I just can't.
Well, joke's on you. This one's Newsweek. So I was setting you up and you weren't taking the bait, just like old Nessie. This one involves, so one of the reasons I love doing the spooky news with you is there's so many stories about homes, like haunted spaces. And I love your opinion on those.
Oh, okay.
Because you are a home inspector and not just that, you have a interest in homes.
Yeah.
You do. So you're like, nope, deny. So this one is called Woman Living in Haunted House Films While the Landlord Can't Rent It Out.
Oh.
Exploring a new home is often a mix of excitement and trepidation, but one woman's collection of creepy items is making the property a difficult sell for her landlord. Becky Ann Galantine, a self-described paranormal investigator from West Hartford, Connecticut, has shared the unusual objects that potential new tenants are confronted with when they wander around her home. When they step into her Victorian house, they are greeted by the sight of Ouija boards, coffins, a headstone, and a skeleton, among other items.
Okay.
After receiving a mixed reaction to her choice of decor, Galantine told Newsweek that she understands, quote, it's not for everyone, but that she's really, quote, enjoyed seeing everyone's gauge for what they think is acceptable. So while Galantine's love for all things gothic and paranormal might seem unusual to some, she prefers to see the beauty and the art that comes with grief. Quote, sorry.
Oh, that was it.
How
Oh.
dare you? Quote, I mostly collect sentimental items with the goal of ensuring the person's memory has a better chance of retaining its history and story, she said. I also dislike seeing deeply personal objects discarded by family when some things are the only connection left on Earth for people of the past. It sounds like she's just a bad tenant.
I'm confused. Does she own the place, or she lives
she
in
must be
another
renting
apartment there? I'm really confused.
I think she's renting the house, but the landlord wants to sell it.
Oh.
That's the vibe
Whatever.
I'm getting.
I just want to say, if I die, if
you die, yes, of course.
I don't want some random person I don't know just taking my personal belongings and putting them in their house. It actually doesn't really preserve my memory at all because you don't know me.
You don't know her.
You. Yeah.
You'll haunt them. Would you haunt them just going like, you poser, you didn't know me?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
You don't know me.
A poll conducted by YouGov in 2022 revealed that 67% of Americans believe they've had some sort of paranormal experience in their lifetime. The results show that the most common encounter was feeling a presence or an unknown energy, which 37% of people said they had experienced.
Oh, carbon monoxide. Got it.
Ironically, 70% of Americans do not have carbon monoxide detectors in their home. No, I don't know if that's a real number, but it sounds right. Some 33% of people reported that they'd heard an unexplained sound, and 29% noted that they'd heard the voice of a person who wasn't actually there. Okay, I suffer from auditory hallucinations sometimes, so that one I don't consider special at all.
I think it depends on just the experience, because I know what an auditory hallucination sounds like to me. Yeah.
Sure.
So,
I also suffer from sleep paralysis, but some people think they're being abducted by aliens during it, and I just get scared. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know I'm a genius, but come on. The least common encounters, according to the YouGov poll, were that of seeing unexplained smoke, witnessed by 11% of people, and seeing a demon, which was reported by 10% of respondents.
Wow. So,
and I'm showing you right here, Chell, on the left are the doors from the Danvers State Hospital in Massachusetts. So that's where those doors came from. And nice. On the right is an antique children's cooling table from the Galentine's table that Galentine's partner gifted her one Christmas. Social media has been fascinated by Galentine's home since she went viral. So that's it's called a children's cooling table.
I'm pretty sure it's just for when you want to cool down from the hot summer sun.
I'm going to have to find out what that is.
No, you don't.
Children's cooling table.
You know what it is.
Victorian cooling table. During the Victorian era, it was common for funerals of the deceased to be held in their homes. This bereavement practice incorporated the viewing of the corpse. In the case that the deceased had passed away before the family was prepared for the funeral or wake, the corpse would have to be preserved well enough for the viewing, which might not happen for several days.
Gross.
So they do things like your people. They don't embalm them. They just. Okay, yeah. So that was a table for putting children who are dead on to keep them preserved until the funeral. Okay,
that's exactly what I thought it was.
I did not think that's what it was, and now I'm really bothered.
What did you think it was?
Honestly, my instinct said that it was like a table at a hospital. It was not. I thought it was going to be something relatively ghastly. I just thought it was going to be like a table you restrained a crazy child on in an asylum. Or
okay, something. You were taking cooling not literally.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm a very poetic.
Literally. Yeah.
I'm a very poetic young man. Galentine. Oh, here we go. Here's the detail you wanted. Galentine is hoping to move out of her haunted, it's in quotes, Connecticut home as she's relocating to Virginia. But after being advertised for a week, her home hasn't received the most positive response.
Oh.
She told Newsweek, quote, one person toured and I heard him asking quietly if any other properties were available. The second individual was still interested, though. Everything I collect is legal, and I do not collect any human remains. The headstone is someone's who was decommissioned and left unused. This art came from the most difficult period of someone's life, and it can still be appreciated. What more can we learn from folks other than what they created during a time where they expressed both great love and loss?
Yeah. Okay, so basically the house is just a disaster.
Yeah, the house is just horrible.
Yeah, but like it's literally falling down and it's like, oh no, it's just the ghost stuff. That's not the reason.
Oh no, this is just ghosts, man. Suck it up, Buttercup. Come on.
Yeah, you don't need a roof over here.
Oh my God. Galentine posted a video, which by the way is at My Bloody Galentine, which is the best friggin' thing I've ever heard. Titled Reasons My Landlord Can't Find Anyone to Rent My Place on May 31st, which has already generated over 1.5 million views on TikTok. In the hilarious clip, Galentine revealed the unique items in her home. Although possible tenants aren't too keen on her ornamentation, social media has loved it. She continued, this whole experience has been really exciting and positive. Instead of calling me weird, folks have reached out wanting to be friends. Out of thousands, there may have been one person who didn't like it. Well, aside from your landlord.
Yeah.
Okay. If I was the landlord, I'd be like, listen, lady, you're going to have to rent a storage thing and take all this crap out.
Really?
You're shaking your head?
No, I think the landlord is just gonna have to wait to rent the house until after she leaves.
No, that's a fair point too. I would be like, all right, get out, friggin' weirdo. Let your TikTok buddies put you up for the night. Out. Get on out of here. Quote, there were a lot of comments that said everything in the video was all right except specific items that they had a boundary for, such as the Ouija board. The coffins and headstone are fine, but the Ouija wasn't. Of course, it's the friggin' Hasbro toy that you gotta get out of there. You know, we can't have that Hasbro toy in here. By the way, so I've made a couple of films that feature Ouija boards, and I want to point out that the Ouija board that Parker Brothers originally made, which is now owned by Hasbro, that is trademarked. So you have to make your own Ouija board to be on camera in a movie, generally speaking. Okay. You could get away with it, maybe, but you really can't if you like call it a Ouija board and then show their board. You run the risk of getting in trouble. So that being said, I have these two Ouija boards that my production designer made. One's wood burned and one is more traditional on like a thick cardboard stock. Mm-hmm. And whenever I introduce new people to it, they always say like, whoa, where'd you get that Ouija board? And I go, well, I was in Massachusetts one summer and I stopped at a garage sale and this woman who looked like she hadn't slept in days was telling me all about it. And after I asked a couple of follow-up questions, because I thought it was a perfectly good gift or a perfectly good prop, she just told me I could have it like right then and there. And and then they go like, really? And I'm like, no, my prop guy made it. I've thought about trolling TikTok with it and being like, you know, and doing that thing where I film it, but I use that fake voice. I found this at a garage sale near Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It's very nice, but sometimes it screams, you know. The TikTok video has already received over 200,000 likes and more than 1,700 comments in just a matter of days. Many social media users love Galentine's unorthodox taste, while others had a lot of questions. One commenter wrote, "Doors to the Danvers State Hospital is such a flex, though. Inspiration for Arkham Asylum." Another person commented, "Okay, but coffin as a coffee table is brilliant. Lots of extra storage." So that's not only is this a nice Newsweek story, but it's another example of how TikToks are now news.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Unless you have anything else you want to say about her throwing her landlord under the bus by having a bunch of creepy dead people stuff.
No, that's her right. And he should wait until after she moves to rent the property. Jeez, not that hard.
Well, then she shouldn't go viral off of it.
Oh, I don't think that's really helping her really a lot. So
we'll be right back after these messages. And we are back with more spooky news. And this one, Chell, you can actually accurately guess. Where's this story from, Chell?
Newsweek?
Mirror.co.uk. I've permanently damaged our trust.
Yeah.
But this one is more what you'd expect from mirror.co.uk because it's all about creepy houses.
Oh.
So this story is inside one of the world's most haunted homes filled with creepy dolls and satanic signs. And I'm showing you some pictures right there, Chell. That's charming, right? That little wall with... Wait, that's a Star of David.
It is a Star of David, yes.
I always laugh out loud when I see that because it's like people are like, it's a pentacle. And I'm like, that's a Star of David. That's the Jewish star for people who don't know what the Star of David. I worked on a movie once and a girl was trying to describe the Star of David, like an actress trying to describe it. And she like thought and then said one of those Hanukkah stars. And I will never forget how hard I laughed. Hanukkah stars. I mean, we all knew what she meant though. So so maybe she's a genius communicator and I'm in denial.
Yeah, probably.
It's any answer that's I'm the problem is probably right.
I mean, that's what I usually go for with me. So.
Yeah. This one. Is it terrible that it's scarier that it's in Mexico? It's scarier that it's in Mexico.
No, no, it's terrible that it's scary that it's in Mexico. Like, I don't think I'm already not scared of it because there's a Star of David. Like, it's that someone just doesn't even know what the correct satanic symbols are. So, like, I'm not scared of them.
Or they're the rare breed of Jewish Satanists.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm here for it. 100%. The haunted home in Mexico, known as the White House, was filled with creepy paraphernalia, including dolls, bird feathers, and satanic symbols, the urban explorer found. So that's that. So what we're looking at is video and photos, although there's only one on the article, which I showed you. Oh, there's some more I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
But these were videos and photos taken by an urban explorer.
Okay.
How do you feel about urban exploration? I feel like you're probably into it.
Yeah, I like it, but I take urban exploration, like ghost type exploration, hunting with a huge grain of salt.
That's not how salt grains come. They're very small.
No, sometimes you can have big flakes.
I know I prefer the big flakes. Did you know that it's really hard to get coarse iodized sea salt?
I hadn't thought about it. No.
It took, I had to special order it from Italy. Anyway.
Wow.
So yeah, I like how it's like, I special order my salt from Italy. It cost $9 for a giant canister. But anyway, I like urban exploration. I get a little creeped out if it's a place that's like, I don't want to trespass. Mm-hmm. I'm a big whiny baby and I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I understand that.
That I'm a big whiny baby, or that I don't want to get in trouble, or which part?
I mean, the entire sentiment, right?
Okay. Well, yeah, I just don't want to get in trouble. All right. Like I keep my interaction with police to a absolute minimum. No need for me to get arrested and have a criminal record that could be used against me in the future.
Yeah.
An urban explorer managed to keep his nerve as he made his way around a building haunted by a woman in a white dress. Jose Flores visited the home dubbed the White House owing to the color of its walls, which is believed to have been ghost-ridden since the 19... Yeah, white walls, unusual feature. So, Casa de Blanco. Casa de Blanco. That has to be... I mean, I would assume that's what they're calling it.
Yeah, I would think so.
Let's see. The 23-year-old was allowed in. Okay, see, this I like. The 23-year-old was allowed in with the current owner's permission, but what he found inside would give him the bravest of people chills. I'm assuming that the owner was like, "Here are the keys, be well," and then they walked in and the corpse of the owner was just laying in the middle of the... That's a good one, right?
That'd be a good one, yeah.
That's a good one. Ha-cha-cha. Opening the front door, Jose was met by a red satanic symbol painted on the wall. I'm guessing he means the Star of David?
I assume so. Who wrote this article?
Good question. Anthony Thrower. I apologize.
We gotta find him.
We're going to find you, Anthony. Anthony.
And have a conversation.
Have a conversation. The discovery set the tone for the rest of the creepy trip around the house. I'm going to show you the exterior of the house, Michelle. It is very nice. Like it's a stately house. Would you call it stately? It's got like pillar beams and stuff.
Yeah.
Super disrepair, obviously. Also white.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think when you first see this picture?
I think I can only see a very small portion of the house.
Correct.
So I'm not even really sure what it looks like.
Do you want me to put it into Photoshop and AI it to extend it until it turns into weird hands?
Yeah. Lots of hands. I mean maybe it's like because it looks like it has the columns look like they go up further, like there's a deck on top. So maybe I don't remember what kind of style home that is right now, and I don't want to embarrass myself. Maybe like
that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll embarrass myself. That's a Marindo style house.
Oh, okay.
That's not a thing. Several doors were damaged inside the home, and Jose also found handprints and scratches on the walls and 2 prosthetic legs.
Oh no.
I don't know what to say to that. Like, the reason it's scarier to me that this is in Mexico is because cartels, lawlessness, that's what's freaking me out is like, are those prosthetic legs from like people that cartels made disappear?
And they just, that's where they keep the prosthetic legs of people that they kill?
Chell, where would you keep them?
I would sell them. What do you mean?
That's a quick way to create a paper trail.
Oh, well, not if you don't. I don't know.
Not if you don't. The end. Other discoveries were from people's nightmares as he found a room full of dolls all hanging from the ceiling and a bathtub full of feathers.
Okay.
Some doors were locked shut, leaving only people's imagination on what might be inside. If I had to guess, a well-appointed study, maybe like a home office.
Yeah.
One of those, a Zoom room, it's just a very basic but nice looking background. So when you zoom, it looks good.
Oh yeah.
Zoom room. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but it should be.
Think so.
Zoom room. So you see those handprints right there, Chell?
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
I mean, people have hands and they touch things, so I don't know if that's creepy.
That doesn't scare you? I feel like that does scare you.
No, I don't really know why that would scare me.
Because people touching things? I thought you were afraid of
no,
germs.
I just don't want them to touch me.
Oh,
I don't care if they touch the walls in a house I've never been to.
It's always about you. Always about you. And do you see these dolls on this like thing hanging from the ceiling? That's creepy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the dolls are... I was about to say the dolls aren't even that scary, but that actually makes it scarier. When the dolls look normal, it actually is creepier.
It's like...
Oh, sorry, please.
Looks like an installation, like an art installation.
No, it totally does.
Yeah.
I think that when the dolls are old and creepy, then your fear is the dolls. You're like, oh, the dolls are haunted. But when the dolls are like normal looking, your fear is who did something to the owners of these dolls. Like,
okay.
I think that's the way it does to me is like, if I see creepy vintage dolls, I'm like, spooky doll. But if I see regular dolls all like in a pile in an abandoned building, I go, someone's killing children, like that, both scary, different ways. Despite the spooky findings, Jose was unable to find any sign of the woman in the white dress who is said to have wandered the halls since the 1980s. He said, quote, "The only thing we know is that woman decided to leave the house because she had suffered a family tragedy. Apparently, she lost her son and husband, and people who pass by this place see the woman in white through the windows."
Aww.
So, and are you seeing this bathroom?
Bathroom.
Yep. What do you think of that bathroom? Is it like really? It could be updated, right?
I think it looks fine. I like that the toilet and the tub are some sort of like greenish, bluish color.
Yeah, it's kind of an aqua.
Yeah.
Color. But then the toilet seat's like purple. But I think that might just be neglect.
Yeah, well, you can get a new toilet seat, so
Oh yeah. Well, I meant though, like, because like there's purple in some areas. Maybe it's also the lighting.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's like dirt, but it's just because of the
little LED flashlight he's using.
Mm-hmm.
I will say he's focusing the flashlight beam, which is a trick I use in found footage movies to create more tension.
Okay.
Because it reveals less of the view at once.
Yeah.
On the second floor.
Scary doll.
That is a really scary doll. Quote, on the second floor, this woman has been seen several times. Jose shared his findings on social media and has racked up 36,200 likes on TikTok. Another TikTok story is news. Yep. Many viewers said they thought they saw a running figure in the video, leading them to believe it was one of the ghosts Jose was searching for.
Oh.
Now, this is where it gets really weird.
Mm-hmm.
First, we have this very creepy doll.
Yeah.
It looks like at one time it was a modestly creepy DIY doll, and then time made it way scarier.
Or like a pinata?
Okay, now you're being a little inappropriate. It does look like a pinata a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
But it kind of looks like it's covered in like plaster or putty.
Mm-hmm.
But next to that, there's a photo of a wall just full of what are those called? Tally marks.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4 / 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's full of tally marks and then the letters 500 just written over top.
Yeah.
What do you imagine occurred to cause that?
Like there were two people and they were playing some sort of game and then keeping track, I guess.
Like who can murder the most innocent people?
I was thinking checkers.
I mean, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
One viewer said in the beginning, a shadow appears running. Norman added, bro, you have to be very, very careful. Never go alone. Anna added, the ghost of the woman, guys, beware. That's helpful, Anna. Thank you.
Yeah.
And there's another, look at the handprint. That handprint's a child-size handprint too.
It is a child-size handprint.
I'm getting a little creeped out.
I mean, kids like to put their hands on things though, so.
Yes. They also like dolls and tally marks and the Star of David. Wendy said of the video, quote, I already went there with my aunt, my stepfather, and my mother, and it really feels a very strange vibe, and it feels like someone is watching you. It comes as earlier this month, a woman was shocked when she spotted a ghostly white figure floating around while on a visit to the beach. I think some of this is translated a little poorly.
Maybe.
I guess a month earlier, someone sighted the ghostly white woman floating near that house.
Oh,
so
okay.
Oh, and there's the feathers in the bathtub. I thought it was going to be a lot more feathers. That just looks like some birds died.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a cool bathtub, though.
Yeah, it just needs a little work. As a home inspector, what do you see as a problem?
I mean, I can't really tell. It's just filthy. It's too filthy to tell.
Fair. The witness was out walking when she spotted a white figure on the beach in the distance, which she believes could be otherworldly in nature. I mean, that's a lot more exciting of a solution.
Yeah.
The eerie encounter took place on Thursday evening of May 11th on Cleethorpes Beach amid heavy fog. Ooh, look at that staircase.
That's pretty nice.
It's a nice little winding staircase.
Yeah.
This place was gorgeous. Like, really cool house. The quick-thinking walker managed to snap 2 photos of the apparition before heading back to her car. She posted the snaps to see what others made of them. She confirmed she couldn't make out if the ghostly image contained a person or, quote, something else. Let's look at the picture real quick, you and me.
Okay. That better not be it.
I
don't think this is it at all.
I clicked on the link they told me to.
I know you did.
Let's try that again. Oh, gosh.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I hope it's the picture of the dog jumping. I can't. Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
Mirror.co.uk. They just want your money. They don't care about it. And all they care about is 2 things, money and ghosts. And they're all out of ghosts. All right. I'm going to give up on trying to find that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Chell, what do you think when it comes to do you have a personal theory when it comes to concepts like this? Like, this is clearly a beautiful, beautiful, stately home. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's near the ocean, so it's probably got a lot of value. It's obvious whoever built it had a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about this Mexican town. I imagine it must be slightly more affluent than the average town.
Maybe.
But then it fell into disrepair, and people started believing ghost stories.
Mm-hmm.
What do you take from that?
About what part?
Like, why do you think that happens? Not just there, but all over the world.
That people think that there are ghosts there, or
that like
houses...
nice homes fall into disrepair and become, full of ghost stories.
I mean, I think usually what happens is the person who owns it dies, and they either don't leave it to anybody, but usually they leave it to a family member who doesn't really want it, can't afford the upkeep, but doesn't want to sell it for some reason. So they
maybe because they think that one day it'll be worth even more or something. They could be waiting on the market. They could be waiting to fix it up.
I think a lot of times it's just like first, like they might not have. No, that's not what I was going to say. I think it's like a thing, like a sentimental thing a lot of the time.
Okay,
like they're just not really sure what to do. It was their mom's house, something like that. So it just like sits there and kind of slowly falls apart, because that's what houses do when you don't live in them. They just die.
Fair.
So, and then it's really easy to just see a house that looks scary because it's all abandoned and think that there's ghosts in there. And you have these urban explorers coming around that are drawing Star of Davids in the house and scaring people. And also, like, my problem with urban exploration, ghost hunting, is a lot of the things that people hear or see may just be homeless people. So, like,
sure, yeah, definitely.
I'm never really convinced. I think urban exploration is cool, but as a ghost hunting thing, I don't have a lot of. I don't give it a lot of credit.
Ooh, Chell taking off her gloves today.
Sorry.
I think you're onto something there, because I've always thought when I see these kinds of big, beautiful houses that fall into disrepair, I feel like a lot of that comes from the fact that before the internet and everything like that, if somebody just died, why would there in the community, and now the house is in disrepair, there's no communication with the townspeople about like who the heir of the house is or what the meeting went like with the lawyer, why no one's living there. So I feel like as humans do, we find answers, even if we have to make them up, even if we have to invent them. Yeah. Also, sorry, please.
Oh, you can say what you were going to say.
I was going to say, also, there have been many examples throughout history of people moving into houses and then realizing they can't afford them. And then basically like claiming that they're haunted or whatever. And that's why they're moving out. So it could be kind of to save face. You know, especially when we're talking like the 30s and 40s, it could be like, why are you guys leaving such a beautiful home? It's like, oh, there's a lady in white that sees, that watches us around, and I just can't do it anymore. It's too creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are little thoughts like that come into my head.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know about the point of people like vacating houses as well. Some areas, like, I mean, that's a beautiful house, but that doesn't mean it's a good area. Maybe it was at one point. Maybe you can't sell that anymore for more than like a little bit of money, like maybe it's like certain areas of, kind of like, sorry, but like Detroit and stuff.
Oh, why'd you apologize?
I don't know. I felt like I needed to apologize.
Somebody who lives in Detroit is listening to this right now and goes, wait a second, are you saying? And then they look up at like the wasteland and they're like, oh, how hurtful. No, Detroit's had a rough go.
Yeah.
So we'll leave you with this before we go to a break. Michelle hates Detroit. Sorry, Detroit. Chell says you suck and all of Detroit is haunted. That's what Michelle has to say.
All of it.
Do you have any advice for the people suffering the mass hauntings in Detroit?
Yeah, but I don't live there anymore. It's too scary.
And speaking of Detroit, if you haven't listened to our most recent Cutting Deep into Horror episode, which aired last week or so, it's with myself and Rachel Rodolphe. We talk about the film Barbarian, which takes place in Detroit.
Oh,
So, and a major story point is Detroit's economic struggles. So definitely worth listening to if you haven't already, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with even more spooky news. And we are back, and Chell, we like to have fun here at Monthly Spooky.
We do?
Yeah, I didn't think you got the memo, but yes, we do. But have you ever thought about the effect that some of these fun, goofy, adventure-y things have on communities?
Maybe.
This story is from Newsweek.
Oh.
And it says, paranormal spook hunters are ruining our village.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you sound sad already.
Yeah.
A crumbling Turkish village has become a hotspot for ghost hunters and paranormal influencers after most of the population fled 40 years ago.
Oh.
The village of Lubi in the Turkish province of Izmir used to be home to over 200 people. Only 5 have remained since 2013, although the population increased to 8 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now its spooky appearance has made the place a magnet for paranormal influencers and ghost hunters, which angers the few remaining villagers.
Oh.
I first of all, when I hear villagers are angry, I think of just pitchforks and torches.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately.
Okay.
That's what I think of. Bar none. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I wrong? I feel like I'm right.
No, you are. I just think of like, since there's like 5 of them, some just like kind of like, you know, older people just being like, get off my lawn, kids.
Those are my ghosts, you goddamn sons of bitches.
Exactly.
In Turkish. When the electric power supply bypassed Lubi decades ago, villagers started moving to nearby plateaus and slowly abandoning the area.
They didn't give them electricity?
The village now looks like a ghost town with crumbling village buildings and few signs of life. Yeah, it says the electric power supply bypassed them.
That's terrible.
Suat Inan, a full-time traveler, discussed his experiences in the, quote, ghost town. Quote, after having a conversation with someone living in the village called Mr. Mehmet. Yeah, that's how you say it, Mehmet. I like how I can't get through a friggin' story about the United Kingdom. These like Dorshatai, like I cannot survive it.
Mm-hmm.
But you just give me Costa Rica, give me Turkey, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Mehmet. He said over 200 people lived there at one time, Inan said. The migration started in the first half of the 1980s. People mostly settled in Cam Plateau, which is 7 kilometers away and had electricity. Yeah, they don't have electricity. Ooh, I got to show you this picture of the village.
Oh.
It's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
But it does look kind of spooky in a way.
Yeah.
At night, I would be uneasy. It's got rolling mountains in the background and then just nothing but disheveled houses. And there's only 2 colors, dark green and dark orange. And that's about it.
Yeah.
But it is beautiful and blue in the sky. It is pretty beautiful, though.
It probably would be actually really nice at night because you don't have any light pollution. So you probably see like lots of stars.
And you won't see the houses in disrepair and the total depression.
I mean...
Yeah, night would be a win. When asked about the village's popularity with ghost hunters, Inan said, sorry, I lost my place. Why did I do that? Inan said, personally, I have not witnessed any paranormal events in the village. The reason for such interest is due to the crumbling buildings, which have become decrepit and neglected over time. Sometimes old rocks crumble and fall while people are visiting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they do that.
It's just like an awful place to be is the note I'm getting.
Yeah.
He said that the Ministry of Culture and Tourism took action to preserve the village's historical structures and architecture. Quote, due to Lubi's popularity, people put their homes up for sale at high prices and unfortunately found buyers. This led to a change in the village and caused it to lose its current look. That is why I agree with the Ministry of Tourism and support the move to protect it. Unfortunately, people can sell their homes for good prices. You guys don't sound like you're looking out for anybody but yourself.
Yeah, really. Not even yourself, honestly. This doesn't sound like, oh, no, we just want everything to crumble, including our own homes.
Let's be real. You know who they're looking out for? The ghosts that they're claiming aren't here, which now I'm really starting to think they're ghosts.
Yeah.
Ghosts. He said the Ministry of Culture and Tourism took action to preserve the village's historical structures and architecture.
Mm-hmm.
I already read that. Sorry, I got my brain doesn't work anymore. Inan is embarrassed about the amount of graffiti in the buildings and feels it will worsen over time unless the authorities take control.
I don't know what's going on here. This is like, I don't want the town to fall apart and, have vandals, but I also don't want people to sell their houses and move in and things are going to be good. Like, what do you want? And also,
did they ever give them electricity on the grid?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But you'd think that, if a lot of people started moving in, they probably would, right?
Yeah.
So
why wouldn't they?
I don't know. Why didn't they when originally? I
could get not doing it in the 1980s and 1990s. It was a very rough time for places like Turkey.
Okay. Yeah.
But now, look, get some fence posts, get some extension cord. Let's make this happen. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it yourself. Don't. Please don't.
Hey, if there's one thing I've learned in life, it's that electrical stuff is very easy and especially safe.
Okay.
Villagers are also uncomfortable with the area's alleged paranormal activity and believe it could harm its tourist appeal. They do not want to be associated with such elements. Wait, it could. What is this article? Are you getting this too? That it's too many people are coming here. We're afraid it'll make people not want to come here. What the hell are you talking about?
What's going on?
They need to lean into it. They need to build a Masonic temple overnight and then act like they didn't know who did it.
Yeah.
So it's the only place in the world where a Masonic temple built itself overnight and no one knows how. I should be the mayor of this place. I would make that place so maggoty with ghost hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Because since we're in Turkey, I would hire some Armenian people to kidnap and kill one of them. That way, it'd be hey, just so you know, per capita, 1 out of every 300 ghost hunters that visits never seen again. Everyone would come. It would be so crowded. I'm so good at ideas.
You are.
This is almost as good as that time we came up with the idea of putting a clown statue on the abandoned road in Centralia and then stuffing it with meat so it would be covered in flies and smell bad. That was such a good idea.
That was a good idea.
But this is what confuses me. It says, due to Lubby's popularity, people put their homes up for sale. But then it says, villagers are uncomfortable. They do not want to be associated with such elements. They're worried it'll affect tourism. They're worried about the opposite things.
So basically what's happening here is people are just angry about stuff. It's just whatever is upsetting. It doesn't matter which way it goes. It just sucks.
I don't want to hear this crap. TikTok.
Yeah.
But hold on. However, there is also a group who believe more visitors will come given the town's new reputation, said Inan. Another concern is that visitors are filming unflattering content about Lubby. If you like Lubby so much, get it electricity. If you like Lubby so much, the problem isn't these people visiting. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they don't want electricity, if they're no, we live that life on purpose, that's fine. We live life the old way. Don't complain that things aren't the way you want them to be. Of course, it's going to be a weird place if it acts like it's a place that time forgot, right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
No, maybe. But I don't know.
I just don't understand what these people want.
Yeah.
They're we don't want people coming here and messing around because we're afraid it'll make people not want to come here.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think they should install a fountain that's Old Faithful, but it sprays blood every 12 hours.
Oh.
I should be there. No, so Turkey, the country, not the food. Although Turkey, the food, I'll talk to you later. But Turkey, the country. Hear me out. That's why I'm right on the microphone. I really want you to hear this. I am available to be your mayor. My only request is refer to me as your king. Okay. So anyway, I just want to get that out. Quote, I am 93 years old. I have been living in this village for as long as I can remember, Ali Ozturk told Turkish news agency IHA. Quote, in the past, there were many people in this village, but now there are only a few left. I love Lubby so much. This is my homeland. I can't live anywhere else.
Okay, so.
Cool. So I don't want any goddamn TikTokers getting clout. Also, it also says yeet. What? And then Ali Ozturk ended the statement by saying simply, and with a solemn and sorrowful tone, no cap. I might have made that one up. This is so weird. I thought that when I read the headline, I thought that like ghost hunters were coming there and just like wrecking the place, like being rude, like eating all the food at the grocery store, taking up all the, no, seriously though. Like I thought that they were just like wrecking the place. It sounds like they're just going to appreciate a place that looks creepy because nobody wants to fix it up because they just like it the way it is.
Yeah, but they don't like it's the way it is either.
Yeah, apparently not. Because they're afraid if too many people come there, then nobody will come there anymore. I can't even.
Yeah.
I can't even. Chell.
Okay.
So let's end our spooky news on something a little bit humorous. Okay. And not, I wish this was a story about a skeleton. After I said that, I was like, that would have been a perfect pun. It's not. This one's something you and I have looked into before in the past.
Okay.
From Newsweek, not haunted vintage chair goes for sale and then goes viral for hilarious advertising. I love when people advertise haunted items and stuff. Like, I think that's hilarious. Remember when we used to go on eBay and look up haunted things and read about them?
Yeah, I remember when you used to do that.
Sometime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like haunted boxes and stuff. Okay, so a woman went viral on Twitter for sharing a photo of a vintage chair in England that was being advertised as not haunted. Check out this chair. I showed it to you right there.
Yeah.
It says definitely
not haunted. Oh my God.
I like that it also looks just like the things around it. Like it's clearly a part of a set, but I guess that's the one that's not haunted.
Yeah.
The woman named Heather Cohen posted a photo of the haunted chair on Twitter where it received 1.2 million likes, 116,000 retweets, and 5,000 quote tweets since Wednesday afternoon. The viral photo showed a vintage wingback chair that had a sign reading, definitely not haunted on it, with an exclamation point. So they mean business.
Yeah. I'm so confused.
I like that her caption is, that's definitely something a haunted chair would say.
Yeah.
A study published by website YouGov. Oh, look at this. It says 2 in 5 Americans believe in ghosts. We just talked about that. Newsweek, You're getting lazy. Cohen said the chair is for sale at Oxfam, an organization that runs various stores around the world in Liverpool, England.
Okay.
Oxfam shops sell secondhand items such as clothes and furniture, as well as books and music. Sadie Cherney, a franchise owner with 3 resale boutiques in South Carolina, told Newsweek that while it is a popular way to shop, buyers should be cautious about resale items and thrifting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why are you agreeing? I want to know.
Because you don't buy upholstered stuff that's not new.
Oh, because you don't want it to have like stuff in it?
Bed bugs in it?
I mean, that would be stuff, yes.
Yeah.
Cherney recommended that individuals search for items that still have tags and to make sure that all zippers are functional. She added that it is important to do research about return policies since policies vary on the store. Experts also recommend making sure the buttons are intact, checking for tears or stains, and washing clothes after buying them to ensure they are sanitary.
Great. Just wash that chair after you buy it. Got it.
I was hanging out with a friend the other day and we went thrifting, and I had to explain to her that they do not wash the clothes.
Oh,
Because why would you think they wash the clothes?
well, what? Like the thrift store?
Yeah.
How would they do that?
That's what I said. I was like, how would they, like, I asked her, I was like, do you think there's like an industrial washer and dryer in the back room? Because there's not. There's just more old crap people gave away for free.
Yeah, no.
Like-
I mean, hopefully the person who like gave it to the thrift store washed it, but I don't know.
But even if they did, it's going to be musty. It's going to be, how clothes get when they sit for a really long time. How anything like towels, clothes, whatever sits, they just get kind of musty.
They do?
Sometimes. I mean, they're not so musty that it's disgusting. It's just like I had a bunch of towels. I was reorganizing my bathroom, right?
Uh-huh.
And I had a bunch of towels, like hand towels and stuff that I just never use.
That are in your bathroom?
That are in the cabinet in my bathroom.
Okay.
And they'd probably sat there for a year and a half or 2 years. So when I took them out, they smelled a little musty. So I ran them through the washing machine, just to freshen them up.
Okay, because I was going to ask you about the humidity in your house if your towels are smelling musty, because mine don't. But it's just that you're keeping them in your bathroom, so I understand.
Yeah, and they're sitting for a really long time.
Yeah.
Basically, I bought a bunch of hand towels in case I needed them, but I didn't have hand towels for years, so they don't get a lot of attention.
Oh.
I know, I feel bad.
Yeah.
More than 4,700 users commented on Cohen's tweet, many commenting on the humor of the sign and saying that they wanted to purchase the chair. Quote, "This is the plot of every Goosebumps book," another user tweeted. Quote, "I remember a horror movie when I was younger involving a chair like that eating people," another replied. No. It was a bed. Deathbed, the bed that eats people. That was literally a movie.
Wow.
It's about a bed that eats people.
Wow.
It's called Deathbed, the bed that eats people.
Wow.
That's what they're thinking of. Unless if I'm mistaken, email us at weeklyspooky@gmail.com and correct me if there is a story about, or a movie about a chair eating people. But I think you're thinking of Deathbed, the bed that eats people. Another said she'd had her own run-in with a haunted chair, sharing, quote, "I bought a chair once at a thrift store, and I thought to myself after a few things happened in the room it was in, but I had an uncle come over and he said, 'Hey, something ain't right about that chair.' That's when I said, 'Okay, it's going in the dumpster.' True story." That's weird. I got a chair and then I wondered, is that haunted? And then my uncle was like, "Man, I don't like the chair." And I was like, "All right, in the trash it goes."
Yeah.
Quote, "My son and his partner bought an old church in Scotland. They are deaf looking for haunted furniture. It's a thing," one Twitter user replied. Quote, "Beautiful wingback chairs, but they are way over there and I'm all the way up in Tennessee, so I think I'll pass on those," another user wrote. Quote, "I'd love it, but it's a bit far away to come from Germany. Just drive."
Yeah, it's not that far.
Yeah. Newsweek reached out to Heather Cohen for comment. "This is not the first case of a person going viral for claiming an object is haunted. One woman recently went viral for claiming her haunted doll collection scared off her neighbors. Ghost hunters in England were called out to investigate a pet shop after the owner said they believed there was a ghost inside. Another woman went viral on TikTok after she caught an alleged ghost reflection in a mirror in her home." I'm pretty sure we covered all of those stories. Also, great reporting Newsweek. It said that they reached out for Heather Cohen for comment, but they didn't mention that she didn't reply. They just said that, and then there was nothing else.
Oh.
Good times.
Yay.
Yeah, it literally just says Newsweek reached out to Heather Cohen for comment, and that's it.
Well, maybe they thought that she'd still get back to them. Because I would.
Well, that all being said, speaking of not haunted chairs, what's the scariest place you've ever been?
In like what way scary?
Just in general, what's the scariest place you've ever been?
I don't know. Maybe that warehouse in Philly that isn't a warehouse anymore. It's condos, but I went in it when it was a vacant, abandoned warehouse. And it was scary because we ran into someone in the hall who probably
was trespassing.
Yes, but he probably lived there because I could tell like people were squatting in there, and we both like ran into each other and like jumped and then like went on with our what? Yeah. So that was pretty scary.
That sounds scary.
Yeah.
You do a lot of urban exploration, don't you?
No, and not so much anymore.
But when you were young and dumb.
And people wanted to do it with me.
Oh, I wouldn't do it. Actually, I get scared of urban exploration. You need to come visit so you and Rachel can go on urban exploration. Rachel is literally like, she'll literally be driving down the road and be like, look at that factory. It's all decrepit. I'm going to break in. Like, she's just, I wish I was being funny, but seriously, police. She's a criminal. She's really like that though. She's just like, I'm going to go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not well. So, but that all being said, we are going to check out the mirror.co.uk's list of the most terrifying places on Earth right after these messages. The scariest places on Earth. There are a lot of them, I would assume. A lot of places that are weird, creepy, eerie, unexplained, etc., etc. What do you think?
I mean, if there are a lot of them, are they that scary?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, then
I mean, like, what's something you're afraid of?
Getting sick, the future,
bed bugs.
Sure.
So if there were bed bugs everywhere, would you feel safer? Would you feel less afraid?
Well, you're right. Okay, fine.
I win. So we're looking at this. So usually when we have a topic, we use one of the most infallible sources of information ever known to mankind, Wikipedia. But today we're going to use mirror.co.uk to help us go into this deep dive. We're going to talk about the most terrifying places on Earth, which includes the gates of hell and an abandoned hospital.
Okay.
Oh, wow. You don't think the gates of hell are scary?
Maybe.
Well, let's dive in, and Chell, 1 to 10, you're going to be rating these scary places. Now, what I want here is this is going to be synergetic. If you have questions, I will pull up research. So like after I read the article part, if you're like, wait, but where is it? Or wait, but is there anything else? You just say the word and I'll Wikipedia it or something. Oh. So we're going to dive in because I want you to accurately grade these.
Okay.
Okay. Searching for something a little different to do this weekend? Then look no further. There are some chilling places to visit around the world if you fancy jumping on a plane, and many are very likely to give you nightmares. From the so-called gates of hell to an island which locals say still chimes with the screams of 160,000 dead plague victims. There's something for everyone. I love Sam Elliott Gibbs wrote this. I love your tact on this. Mm-hmm. If you don't fancy that, a creepy abandoned hospital that once treated Adolf Hitler could be a must-see.
All right.
Or how about an island stacked full of freakish mutilated dolls?
Yeah, I know about that one.
If you're feeling a little ghoulish or are partial to some tombs and graves, there's plenty to pick from. Or if you prefer to stay at home after all, the Mirror has prepared the perfect travel guide so you don't have to move a muscle. So this first one is the Gates of Hell. And I'm guessing you're familiar with it?
I think that there's actually several places called that, so I don't know.
The Gates of Hell right here, it's a big hole in the earth full of fire.
Oh, I don't know that one. Maybe.
It's called the Darvaza Sinkhole in Turkmenistan, Central Asia. Mm-hmm. It has been burning since 1971 when it's thought Soviets ignited it.
Okay.
What was that? You made a reaction. What was that?
I feel like I already know about a place that's been burning since like the 70s. So
yeah, well, for the record, Centralia does not look as bonkers as that image right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy looking. It's a giant crater full of fire.
Yeah.
But get your visit in soon. The fiery crater, which has been belching out methane for more than 50 years. Oh, so it's methane. This isn't coal. It's methane. Okay. For more than 50 years may soon finally be closed as its country's leader ordered it to be extinguished. Boo. What a killjoy.
They haven't tried before?
I guess not. They're just be like, hey, it is what it is. That's the Turkmenistan motto? It is what it is.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's like on their flag with a shrugging emoji. It's said the gas emitted from the landmark is causing untold damage to locals' health and the environment. I would think that the fire burning it up would be good for stopping the gas emissions, but I don't know a lot about anything.
It works like that.
Fair enough. Well,
Sorry.
Dubbed the gates of hell or the mouth of hell, the blazing pit can be seen from miles around and has become a major tourist attraction in recent years. But those who like a terrifying trip should get their skates on. Gurbanguly Berdim Muhammedu has made orders for his government to hunt down experts to help close the sinkhole. Located in the Karakum Desert, around 160 miles north of the country's capital, Ashgabat, the 230-foot wide and 70-foot deep sinkhole is wreaking havoc on public health with its ceaseless methane emissions, according to the leader. Couldn't they capture the methane and use it? Like, that has to be an option, right?
I mean, maybe. They probably have to put it out first, though.
Oh, I mean, yeah. No, I mean, you're not wrong there. The president had previously tried unsuccessfully to close it back in 2010, and in 2013, he declared the surrounding area a natural reserve, which has since become a tourist trap. Why is he calling it a trap? Anyway. So, what do you rate the gates of hell in Turkmenistan on a scale of 1 to 10?
How scary it is? Is that what?
As far as the most terrifying places. So it's a terrifying... How terrifying?
Terrifying. It gets a 0. I think it's really cool.
You don't think it would be terrifying to stand in front of a giant flaming hole?
No, not unless somebody pushes me inside it. No. I want to stand in front of a giant flaming hole in the earth.
So you could finally feel warm for once? Since you're cold-blooded. Well, here's one that has always bothered me that white people seem to think is just totally fine. The Catacombs of Paris. I'm assuming you're familiar with those.
Uh-huh.
I hate the catacombs.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of human remains as decoration.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that that's cool. I don't think that that's a thing I want to see or be near. I don't think it's something to be proud of that it exists. Mm-hmm. I think it's just the morbidity of the Neanderthal-like history we come from. I hate it. I have always hated it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to bring Neanderthals into it.
Neanderthals?
Balls. But I mean, I don't disagree, and I feel that way about any sort of, like, we take this dead thing, and we display it pretty much.
Sure.
So, not just people.
Well, no, I mean, I get that, but like, it's the idea that this is supposed to be a mass grave, but like they stack the skulls all together and stack the bones all together. It's morbid as fuck, and it's not okay.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Located just 20 meters underground, this ossuary contains the remains of several million Parisians. The site was created in the late 18th century when Paris faced problems linked to the cemeteries, so authorities chose to transfer the bodies to a new underground site, including the Saint Innocent Cemetery. Or the Saint Innocent Cemetery, whatever. Tombs and graves were emptied of their bones and transported in the dead of night to avoid hostile reactions from the Parisian population and the church. The site was consecrated in 1786 and opened to the public by appointment in 1809. Now everyone's welcome, if you dare, and there are around 550,000 tourists who visit per year. In the ossuary, bones which have been loosely piled are organized in walls. The facade consists of rows of tibia and alternating with skulls. I hate it. I like in the dead of night, they moved a bunch of bodies without the permissions of families or the church.
So like I know that the catacombs exist and whatever, but I don't really know that much about it. And that just sucks.
Yeah. No, it really does. I'm literally Googling why are the French catacombs? When major public health problems tied to the city's cemeteries led a decision to transfer their contents to an underground site.
What
But-
kind of major health problems?
I don't know, but that doesn't mean you make friggin' decorative
Art.
out of people's friggin' family members and stuff, their bodies, which were supposed to be left alone.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being ridiculous, let me
No.
know, but
No, I'm pretty much with you on this. I think that's really messed up.
yeah, I'm not a fan. So apparently 53 million years ago was the end of sedimentation. Paris and the surrounding area was a vast and swampy plain. 47 million years ago, the sea covers the north of France, which had been flattened by erosion, the start of the formation of Lutetian banks. So first century AD, there are open pit quarries, then underground quarries. King Louis signs a decree to prohibit extracting material from underground roads. Okay, so that's a history of the underground spaces that eventually became the catacombs. So let's see, April 4th, Louis the whatever creates the Department of General Quarry Inspection, which is in charge of protecting Parisian quarries. In 1780, they closed the St. Innocent's Church or Cemetery. April 7th, 1786, the benediction and consecration of the Tomb Isore quarries, which became the municipal ossuary known as the catacombs. So from 1787 to 1814, the transfer of bones from the parochial cemeteries of Paris began. Then in 1809, they opened the ossuary to the public.
Okay.
Why did they make it a friggin' like why did they make it look like something you did with popsicle sticks?
Okay, so here's my theory that I just made up.
I'm in.
So they were trying to transfer them as like full bodies and stuff, but they dropped a bunch of them, and all the bones went everywhere, and they didn't know how to put them back together or even whose bones went to which person. So they were like, "What can we do to save face?" So they made art.
What I don't get is why not just bury bodies? The end. Why the walls of bones so people can walk through it? I just hate that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So around 6 million odd skeletons are in the tunnels.
Okay. It's really weird.
Apparently they smell really bad too.
Why do they smell?
Because they have noses. Wait, what? It just has like a strong smell.
Okay. I mean, they're bones. I wouldn't think that they'd smell, but I don't really. What do I know? I don't know anything.
I just searched, why are the French catacombs organized like that? Oh my God. Yes, this is what I thought. There were so many bodies in Paris that they decided to organize them in an artistic way to conserve space and beautify it. This article says it worked. I don't think it's beautiful. I think it's disgusting.
I mean, I'm gonna say that I think it's kind of pretty, but also I think it's really sad.
Yeah. So this is one of the few. This might be one of my hottest, most unpopular takes.
Interesting.
I don't like the catacombs of Paris.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just didn't really know about too much about them until now, but I also don't really like them now.
So that being said, how terrifying.
Apparently it smells not good, so maybe like a 4.
Okay, 4 out of 10. So
Yeah.
a little terrifying.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to move on to another one then. This is the Island of Death.
Oh, okay.
Morbid tourists flocked to a tiny island of death, which became a dumping ground for the disease during the bubonic plague. More than 160,000 Italian people are said to have died there, but instead of it being a place of respect and reflection, the walls of the innocent buildings are ancient buildings are stained with graffiti.
Okay.
Located less than half a mile from the canals of Venice, Pavaglia Island, once served as a quarantine zone for victims and was also the site of an early 20th century asylum that was rumored to carry out horrific medical experiments. Locals claim to this day that they can hear echoing chimes from the island despite the bell having been removed years ago.
Okay.
It is illegal to visit Pavaglia, but you can see it from the beaches of nearby Lido. In the 1300s, the brutal Black Death wiped out an estimated 60% of Europe's population. Venice is home to several islands with horrifying reputations similar to Plague Island. Lazaretto Nuovo is another haunting island where the mythical vampire of Venice was rumored to operate.
Okay.
This one's not really selling it to me. There's barely any photos.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel it's just sad. You
Sure.
know? Sad.
Do you want me to try and find a couple pictures?
If you want to, sure.
I mean, I don't want to, but I will.
I mean, no one else can see them, though.
I mean, but you're the one who's judging this.
Oh, sure.
You're the one who matters.
I don't
Okay.
think that they matter. Oh, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty in that like island prison kind of look. Oh wow, I don't see any pictures on the ground. I think the people really don't go there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm only seeing pictures from a distance. What do you think?
Like a 3 or something?
A 3, man.
It's not scary.
You're not easy to scare.
Yeah, I just see I'm not a good judge for this.
How are you not a good judge? It's literally what you think is what matters.
Yeah, but I'm wrong.
Okay, this one looks scary. Belitz Heilstätten Hospital. It's got German in it. That's already scary.
Mm-hmm.
The halls of the former Belitz Heilstätten Hospital are not for the faint-hearted. After all, the abandoned building is where Adolf Hitler was treated after being wounded at the Somme. The hospital, made up of 60 buildings, was built in 1898 as a sanatorium, but it was transformed into a military hospital at the beginning of World War I for the Imperial German Army. Now left to nature, the area is a common haunt for photographers and thrill seekers. Although some sections of the hospital still host a neurological rehabilitation center, so it's still open in some areas. Although some sections of the hospital still host a neurological rehabilitation center and a Parkinson's disease research center, the surgery, psychiatric ward, and rifle range have stood abandoned since 1994. That's what you need to relax the psychiatric ward patients.
Yeah.
A rifle range nearby.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's not stopped people from paying it a visit. Dilapidated structures, peeling paint, and an air of spooky expectation still fill the walls, as so does something else. The hospital is said to be haunted by the ghosts of those who perished in its wards. And here's a couple of images that are pretty scary.
Yeah.
The abandoned operating theater still bears marks from its time as a Soviet military hospital. Chilling images give a haunting insight into the former military hospital, where Adolf Hitler was once a patient.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I'll give it like a 5 because like Nazis are scary, I guess.
A 5 because Hitler, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. I can respect that.
Half of it has they're like still doing stuff there. It's weird.
It's a huge complex.
Well, why do they just let the buildings all just fall down like that around them?
I don't know. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Oh, this one's creepy. Man, man, Chell, you're hard to scare. The Island of the Dolls.
Yeah.
It's a creepy place located in the Achamaliko Lagoon. I'm saying that poorly. Dubbed the Island of Nightmares, this creepy Mexican spot is steeped in spooky myths and legends surrounding the mutilated dolls that fill the island. They're nestled everywhere amidst the buildings, the trees, and canals. It looks like something out of a horror film. Some claim they hear the dolls whispering to each other. Who are those people? While others on boats near the island said the dolls lured them closer. In the woods of, I can't believe I don't know how to say it, Oxamalico, miles away from civilization, hundreds of tourists and thrill seekers arrive every year. Known locally as the Chinapas, the area was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987. According to the island's website, the dolls are, quote, threatening even in the bright light of midday, but in the dark, they are particularly disturbing.
Yeah. I mean, I know about this one.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I do think it's kind of, it's a little unsettling because I don't think the dolls are like haunted. I think people are just weird and stuff. But I wouldn't really want to go there at night because I am scared of dolls.
In general?
Yeah.
Have you seen Chucky?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I'm going to send you that DVD set for Christmas.
No, it's okay.
No. You need this and the Puppet Master movies too.
No, it's okay.
Why not? There we go.
Yeah,
These
it's
are
like real scary.
creepy.
It's just like a little island where there's just dolls hanging everywhere.
Does anyone know why they're there?
Because people put them there or something? I don't remember.
Because like that's the thing that's throwing me is like this article is relatively sparse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, but like why?
Okay.
It keeps showing me the Island of Death movie, which I have seen.
It's not Island of Dolls or something?
There we go. That's another one. Doll Island. La Isla de las Morencas. In the mid-20th century, Barea began to collect dolls and hang them around the small island. The island gained notoriety in 1943 when Mexican director Emilio Fernandez used it as a location to film Maria Candelaria. After Barea's death in 2001, his family opened the island to the public as a tourist attraction. In addition to the hundreds of dolls, the grounds host a small museum with articles from local newspapers about both the island and the previous owner. There's a store and 3 rooms, one of which seems to have been used as a bedroom. In this room is the first doll that Barea collected, as well as Augustina, his favorite doll. The Island of Dolls is accessible to the public by gondola-like boats referred to as trajineras. Most rowers are willing to transport people to the island, but there are those who refuse out of superstition. Mm-hmm. The journey often includes a tour of ecological areas, Ejilote Museum, Apalato Canal, Texuela Lagoon, and La Llorona Island. I want to know about La Llorona Island, since that's like La Llorona.
Yeah.
But, okay, so interesting. So I guess that the dolls get extra creepy because they're just exposed to stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it's kind of, I don't think it's terrifying, but it is kind of scary because there's just stuff everywhere. And
so what would you rate our final one?
Like a 6, maybe?
Whoa, so that one gets more than the mental hospital that had Hitler there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Hitler died in that hospital or something.
Well, I mean, no, because it's the hospital. It's not like the hospital's in Argentina. What? Oh, gosh. Well, now I want to know about La Llorona Island, like really bad. And there's almost nothing when I search it on Google.
Sorry.
So I guess I got to go there. Pack your bags. Yep. Let's go, Chell. Let's go.
We can go to the doll place, too, because it sounds like it's close by.
Oh, yeah, it's super close. So,
yeah.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some horror movies I saw in the theater, and we're going to talk a little bit about some spooky Reddit crap that Chell is always finding because she's generous with her time right after this. Now that we are back, I want to talk a little bit about this here on Monthly Spooky before we wrap up this month's rundown. I saw, Chell, 2 horror films in the theater, brand new movies.
Oh.
I consider it, as a lifelong horror fan, I believe that it's your duty to go see horror movies in the theater. Because if you don't, then you're going to not get that anymore.
Yeah.
So I try to see any horror movie in the theater, even if I don't think I'll like it, I'll go see it. Because I believe that it's important that horror movies be in the theater.
Yeah.
That being said, I have 2 very different examples of horror in the theater. One that's a good example and one that is not a good example.
Oh.
The first film I saw in the theater was an independent film distributed by A24 called Talk to Me. And Talk to Me is this concept where basically there's this creepy hand statue that's somehow supernatural. They don't explain it, which I kind of like that they don't bother with that part.
Mm-hmm.
And kids, it becomes a viral challenge for kids. You're supposed to hold hands with it. And then you say, talk to me. And then you will, while you're holding the hand, you will see the hand will be replaced by a dead person. Like you'll be holding a dead person's hand.
Cool.
And they'll be staring at you. But the amount of scary varies because sometimes they're just like a woman, like an old lady, and other times they're like a person who like was killed in a car accident or drowned or something. So it varies how scary it is.
Okay.
And the idea is, it becomes a viral challenge. So the secret is that you do the talk to me, and then once you see the person, you don't let go of the hand, and then you say, I think it's I let you in, is what you say. Mm-hmm. Then you get possessed by that spirit you're holding hands with.
Wow.
For about, I think they said it's like you can't do more than a minute or else it can be dangerous. Mm-hmm. Apparently the idea is that like when it's over and they pull the hand out of your hand and you stop letting them use your body, like it's like a crazy rush. It's like super exciting and wild, and your eyes turn all black and people film it. You know, it's like a kid's clout thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you're wondering, okay, that all sounds great, but how does it become a horror movie? Like, what's the problem? Mm-hmm. Right? I'm sure that's what you're thinking. Obviously, it starts to go a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
One of the characters starts getting addicted to it, like wants to do it all the time.
Oh.
And then that gets tied into her mother being dead and her hoping to talk to her mother.
Yeah.
Because if you try enough, you might eventually, get someone you know.
Yeah.
Really good, fun kind of possession, horror, supernatural thing. Mm-hmm. Low budget, made in Australia. I enjoyed the hell out of it. A lot of people did too. It's been very successful in the box office.
Good.
And yeah, I would recommend it. If Talk to Me is showing in a theater near you, go see it or rent it, whatever you like to see movies, but I think you'll enjoy it. Unfortunately, we didn't get Cobweb out here, which is a horror film I really wanted to see in the theater, so I'll have to watch it on streaming. I'll probably talk about it next month. But yeah, just really enjoyed it. I'm not a movie critic. I just love movies and I like to talk about what I like in them. That movie had a lot of really great moments and scary stuff. And I thought the twist was pretty good and hard to predict.
Good.
But maybe I'm wrong. So Talk to Me, definitely go see it. Now let's talk about the slightly less successful horror film in theaters right now. The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, the Demeter was the boat in Dracula. You know how there's a boat that shows up with like nobody on board in the original Dracula?
I mean, I know because you told me. So.
Oh my God, I swear. Kids these days don't read. All they care about is like, saying no cap.
Yeah.
Yeet. Basically, the book, I haven't read Dracula since I was a teenager, but the book had like some details about what happened on the boat. But in the movie, it's just the boat's already, nobody's there. But and the cargo is still on there. And one of the cargo pieces is, spoiler, a crate with Dracula in it. In this version, the original Dracula story, he sleeps in a crate of the dirt from his homeland.
Okay.
That's what weird. He has to sleep in at night or during the day. He sleeps in a crate full of the soil from his homeland.
Wow. Weird.
Yeah. So please.
So like at home, he can just sleep on the ground and it's fine.
He sleeps in like a tomb, like a catacomb under his castle.
Okay, all right.
And he sleeps in that dirt.
He brings it so he's comfy. Got it.
Yeah. He has a crate full of dirt from Transylvania.
Okay.
So The Last Voyage of the Demeter is a big budget action horror take on what happened to the crew on the Demeter with Dracula on board. It's not a bad movie, but it didn't have a lot that stood out to me. It was fine. Like I had a fun time, but it was a very expensive movie. It's flopped horribly in the theater. And this is the second Dracula movie to flop in theaters this year. Renfield flopped and now The Last Voyage of the Demeter flopped. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, I probably won't watch it again. I don't think it was that level, but I mean, just because a movie isn't your favorite movie ever doesn't mean it's not worth watching. That's one thing that drives me crazy. It's like most movies are meant for you to watch them once. Yeah. You know, it's on the viewer if it becomes their favorite movie and then they want to watch it a bunch. But a lot of films, you know, you watch it once and you're like, hey, that was fun. And that's it. You may never think about it again. And I think that that's the healthy way to look at movies and content consumption is like, as an artist, you should hope that they watch it once, have a good time, and never think of it again. That should be like your worst case scenario. Should be like, and then they never think of it again.
Yeah.
So I liked it. It had some cool stuff in it. I thought it was a little bit too much of an action movie and not enough of a horror movie. And I think that alienates horror movie audiences. It's kind of like that Mummy remake that came out with Tom Cruise, where Universal Studios was trying to restart like the monster universe, but they can't help themselves. They don't, instead of making like a horror movie, they make an expensive action movie with horror creatures in it.
Yeah.
And I think that just alienates the horror audience. And then the action audience just isn't that into it anyway.
Right.
That's my opinion. But I know a lot of people like Last Voyage of the Demeter. I did too. It had a lot more horror elements than a lot of other examples. It had a lot of blood, a lot of scares and stuff, but it just didn't click with me enough. And they spent $45 million on it. So it's made like $16 million. It's going to flop horribly. Just like Renfield did. And I hate that because when I tell people like, I worry that's going to flop, they're like, it looks good. And I'm like, I'm not talking about how good the movie is. I'm talking about if it will be successful in the box office. I'm going to go see it. And I think it looked great. And I did enjoy it. I did not regret going to see it. So I don't know, but I feel bad. So if you love Dracula, if you love period piece boat movies, I know that sounds really specific, but you know, like old time ship movies, it's got a lot of that going for it, you know, just being on a ship on the ocean in the olden days.
Yeah.
That's really, really in there. Then I recommend Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Okay.
So I enjoyed it. It's just, there's a lot of caveats because I really think they could have done more with less. I think if they had made the movie for like $10 million or $5 million and pared down all the ridiculous action and made it really scary, I think it would have every way been more successful. But that is just my opinion. And I'm, you know, don't look at me. I'm just the guy sitting here with his dog with cancer on his foot. So on that note, Chell, what you got over on Reddit for us?
Let's see. So I was really trying this month and things were just like not good. Yeah. Sorry.
I was not expecting you to say that you were trying.
Yeah, sorry. But like there was even on the Century Homes Reddit, there was a like, what's the creepiest thing that ever happened to you in your Century home? And none of the stories were scary. And I was just like, really? So I will tell you there was from the Glitch in the Matrix Reddit subreddit, there's this dude, right? I guess I don't really need to look at this because I know what it is. And he was in his bed sleeping, I guess, because like that's what he does. And his alarm went off for him to wake up to go to work. It's like a whatever. He's got to be at work at 5:30 in the morning. Went off, and he gets up and he realizes that his wife is home in bed with him, which is weird because she works like an overnight shift. So she's not usually home. So he like wakes her up and is like, "Are you okay? Like, did something happen? Did you leave work early?" And she's like, "I didn't go to work last night. I was home with you all night. Do you remember?" And he's just like, I don't, but I got to go to work. And he's like kind of rushing and he's trying to get to work on time. And he gets there and wherever the hell he works, like there's no cars in the parking lot and the doors are locked. And he's like, what? So he calls his boss and he's like, what's going on? And his boss is like, why are you at work an hour early? And he's like, oh. So it turned out it was 4:30 and he somehow messed up. But then he like something else happened and he was just having like a really bad morning. And while he's like looking for his headphones that he lost while walking in the parking lot, his wife calls and says like, can you just talk to me? Cause like I'm driving home and I just want to make sure that I stay awake because I'm really exhausted. So she wasn't there.
Jeez.
So what happened?
I mean, a gas leak is my first thought on that one. Jeez. I don't even have that one's too much for me. I don't even have a theory.
I mean, I think it's really possible that he was just having, like, he was like partially asleep and having some sort of like, dream state, like hallucination when he woke up. And maybe his alarm didn't even go off and he just thought it did. I've definitely woken up an hour early and then been like, what? What did I like? Usually I realize before I get out of bed, but I've, like woken up at 6 and been like, oh God, I got to get up. And then realize like, it's like not time for me to get up. So I think that's possible. Other than that, maybe he switched in and out of some timelines. Maybe his wife. Did
we ask him, is it Berenstein or Berenstain?
We didn't ask him, I don't think, in the comments.
See, this is why you people need someone like me, a detail-oriented man who can really get to the bottom of these things.
You're welcome.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
You've all made that very clear.
Oh.
No, that's a freaky one.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. No, my money would be on like dreamt some of it. Mm-hmm. And then disoriented, obviously, so you went to work early. Mm-hmm. That would be my guess.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I did a short film called Scary Clown. I don't know if you remember that one.
I think so, yeah.
And in Scary Clown, toward the end, this girl, it's like 5 minutes long, this girl gets up from the couch, and as she's walking away from the couch, you see her boyfriend sitting on the couch next to her. Mm-hmm. It's like she wakes up from a nap. He's just sitting there, but he's in all silhouette. You can't really see his details, but it's clear it's him. Mm-hmm. And as she's walking to the bathroom and saying like, I got to get my contact lenses out because my eyes hurt, her phone rings and scares her and she answers it. And it's her boyfriend saying like, I'm so sorry I'm running late. I'll be there as soon as I can. And then we pan over and now that the clown who's been following her around the whole short is sitting there looking at her. I love the idea of peripheral vision being depicted. And that's how I depicted it. I was like, your brain just decided that that's your boyfriend. Because that's who would be sitting there. But that was not who was sitting there. Yeah. I like stuff like that. Silly thing like that. So what's your next one on the Reddit chopping block?
I should have done that one first because this one wasn't that good.
Oh, we'll end with a whimper then. That's okay.
There was
a man from Nantucket. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just this dude who lives in a house that's old. And
the house or the dude?
Probably both. And they were having like some paranormal type activity in their house, but then like it says like maybe like a year ago, he was like I guess like taking like vents away from taking paint away from the vents. So that he could like clean and vacuum out the vents. And he was vacuuming out one and something got stuck in the hose and it was a decapitated mouse. And it didn't have any insides and it a string was tied. No, the head was there too. And then the blade that was used to decapitate it was there and a playing card. And that's it. Sorry.
What suit was the playing card?
I don't remember. And it's not here.
See, how can I... This is very disappointing.
Yeah.
I really needed to know that.
I'm sorry. He posted it in a different thread. So, I could probably just look. Hold on. I'll find it.
This is so important because this is the clue. This is the thing that's going to get us to the next level on figuring all this out.
Here we
got to find out. What was the card?
Come on. on.
Was it, the Suicide King? Was it the Dead Man's Hand? What could it have been?
It's the 8 of diamonds.
You got to say that into the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to look at it. It's the 8 of diamonds.
8 of diamonds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if 8 of diamonds means anything.
But like, it's literally the 8 of diamonds. Then it's a mouse that's decapitated, and then the head of the mouse and a blade that was used to decapitate the mouse.
Yeesh.
And the tail of the mouse, or maybe that's string.
I looked up a website that tells you what these cards mean, supposedly. It says 8 of diamonds meaning is unpredictable. On a rainy day, this card announces obstacles and efforts without success. On a sunny day, on the contrary, it means good prospect for business. The deeper message of 8 of spades is that prudence is that of prudence. Even if it's sunny outside, take an umbrella.
Yay.
Yeah, that helped. That didn't help at all. I'm sorry I did that.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, that's that one. I mean, decapitated mouse means cat. There's a cat. That's what that means.
No.
Cat.
No. It's decapitated by like a blade. That's there
I'm
with
still
it
thinking cat,
in the vent.
Cats are cats.
And the head is there.
This one, no.
Sorry.
What's your theory? Though?
Some bad
gotta have a
person
theory, right?
did that and then put it in there. That's
just that a person did that?
Yeah.
That's always your theory. You're like a person.
Yeah, pretty
Not
much.
fair. Well, we may never know.
Yeah.
And knowing is half the battle. I don't know what I meant by that. I also want to mention we got a email. Well, actually, it was a voice message, but I can't play it on the show.
Okay.
Because Pod Page was acting weird. You can leave us voicemails on WeeklySpooky.com. We do get them, and if I can get the website to work with me, I could probably get it to let us play it.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's just not. It's not playing ball. But the message, let me find the message for you because I did want to at least react to it. It was about it. We were talking briefly about the Amityville horror last time.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. I should have prepared this ahead of time. Shut up. Okay, this is from Nancy Lund. Actually, I might be able to play it. Chell, you'll have to be quiet so that it doesn't echo back. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're being quiet. Okay, here. This is from Nancy Lund.
What about the murders at the Amityville Horror House? The father murdered, I believe it was the children.
I do want to mention we were not referring to the DeFeo murders, which were the murders that happened before the events of the Amityville haunting. That really did happen. And the son who committed it, Ronald DeFeo Jr., I believe, has claimed that the devil told him to do it and a bunch of other things.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of theories about it. So,
yay.
That's pretty much, that's all I know on Earth. So, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up the show. And I want to thank everybody for listening to Monthly Spooky. I always have a good time doing it with my good friend Michelle Antisocial. I want to say a big thank you to our Patreon podcast boosters, folks who pay just a little bit more to hear their names at the end of the show. They are Johnny Nix, Bobbletopia.com, Megan Hua, Julia Kirsch, Brent McCullough, Steve King, Karen Wiemet, Jack Kerr, and Craig Cohen. Thank you all so much. And if you want to support the show directly, you can go to WeeklySpooky.com, click on Patreon, and join those folks. We would really appreciate it. We can't wait to talk to you guys next month when we talk to you right before Halloween starts. And then, of course, we'll have an episode the day before Halloween. So I am all about it. Bowdy. So, Chell, why don't you get the final word?
I mean, that's okay.
That's going to be your final word?
Yeah.
All right. Well, for Michelle, for myself, for my producer, Dan Wilder, my executive producer, Rob Fields, and our composer, Ray Mattis, we'll see you next month. Adios, muchachos. And spooky dolls for Chell for Christmas. Join me as we make a spooky doll drive just for Chell.